Well, hello there, and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Sean Bell.
Hello.
Matt Murray.
Hello.
James Farley.
Hello.
Little blast from the past for you super fans out there. We'd like to mention our own super fans, the Patreon producers this month. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Jack Oven, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights to Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gabsy, Rocketman76, Rex Reese, Grey Dragonclaw, Fred Fenge, Smooth Monkey, Don Whiskerando, Colin Smith, Richard Sawyer, and Jonathan Edwards. They're the Full Nels crew. They are the Full Nels crew, and you can join them in supporting the show by going to patreon.com/TCGS. Various different tiers. We got Le Tournoir is being completed Wednesday night. So the night this comes out, there's a poker match happening. And only those at whatever tier it is can see it. That's
£8.50. £8.50 plus local
tier.
taxes.
Yep.
Yep.
They get to find out who's the ultimate winner of Le Tournoir and whether or not James has come up with some way of scoring the tournament. We'll find that out on Wednesday. But there's also the bonus show come out this week where we spoke. What did we talk about with the bonus show this week?
Meeting celebrities.
Yes.
Meeting celebrities.
Cameos.
That was right. Cameos.
Sean had a moment with his phone
I
and
did.
a voice memo notes
Embarrassed
app.
myself in front
He
of a
did.
VIP.
He did, no. More importantly, you get to hear what getting a cameo off of James Farley would be like, and let's just say you might want your money back.
Guys,
He
bro.
did go so well.
But we really do appreciate everyone that supports us at patreon.com/TCGS. It keeps us going, all right. And if you don't do it, fucking stop. Right. Should we just get straight onto the feedback for last week's show?
This is
Matt?
the first time in forever we haven't got notes from one of us
I was
because we
gonna
were
say,
all
yeah,
here
yeah.
last week.
Yeah, we're all there.
Very exciting. We're going to
I
start
mean, I
with
still take notes on it, but it just seems a bit funny to bring it up now.
Yeah.
Let's hear some. Let's get your Google Doc out.
No, it's all right. Let's hear what the listeners think. They'll love it, did they?
Mostly. The Bash Street Kid, I'd like a word. TCGS cool dude. It troubles me that James claims to be a Yakuza fan, but he's never given a shout out to Yakuza Ishin. Admittedly, it was released in 2014, but James talks about old things all the time, like his pensioners rant about Thundercats last week. For the love of Mumra, please fix this by letting your followers know that a samurai-era Yakuza game exists in which you can cross swords and garden to your heart's content. Peace. From the Bash
James
Street
Farley.
Kid.
It's true. I mean, this game does exist, but unfortunately, it was never released outside of Japan. So,
Does it not?
no, and there's no
But a true fan would have played it anyway. He would
There's
have
no-
learned
there's
Japanese.
no English translation of it, and so
he
it's
would have
like,
hired a translator to sit next to them.
probably should have done that. But yeah,
Played it.
it's one of those games that actually people keep saying like, "Oh, are you ever going to bring it?" And they're like, "No."
Yeah, I mean, they
you-
remade so many others and brought them to modern platforms.
Can I just say? I
Go on.
guarantee before this reading that bit of feedback, James had never heard of this game, and
That's
he's
not
literally
true. I absolutely
when the feedback come in, he googled it. And he's reading the Wikipedia bits
And he
out.
saw the
in
didn't
fact,
come out
actually, it's
here.
one of the most fan requested games.
No, I think
A
he got
survey
to
was
the
taken.
he got to the bit where he confirmed it never actually came out here, and he's like, "Oh well, that's it. That's my excuse. Don't need to read anything else."
It's absolutely. I mean, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
No, wait, don't agree and then disagree, like in the same breath. What I mean, come on, James, I got you there.
No, I
haven't
did.
mate?
No. I
It's the
did know
truth.
it. I knew it existed, and it was one of those games that when they did the recent collection that comes to PS4, it was like people were hoping that maybe they stick it on there as well. But it's not been localized.
Where
and it's
are
gonna
you with
happen.
the Yakuza games now? Which ones haven't you played?
I'm missing one. There's one I haven't played of the mainline series, which is 5, which I started, but it's massive, and so I got
They're all
distracted.
massive, aren't they? Aren't they all like 60+ hour games?
Yeah, but this one's got like I can't remember how many characters, but I think it's like 4 different playable characters, and it's it's
They all
like,
play exactly the same, and then you got to
no, they don't actually.
you in
They-
wacky situations where you
quite-
just press X a lot. Okay,
They've all got
All
distinct combat styles, Dave. I
Yeah, they
imagine.
do.
Have
They
they?
all
Well,
have
there
those,
you
yeah.
go.
Have they?
But no, it's supposed to be one of the best ones, but I've just not got round to it really, and I still need to play the Judgment sequel as well, which I bought, but they've never got round to playing. It's just been
Lot
too
of
much
never
stuff.
getting round to things, isn't there?
There's
for
too
a-
much
for a
stuff.
mega
There's
fan.
way
games.
too much stuff to
Big
bear.
Never
old
getting
game,
round
you know?
to it. Mega fan. Spent 10 hours playing Tinykin in one day. Right, okay.
Brilliant game. brilliant game, Dave.
It is a fucking good game. Go on.
James read one opinion piece saying everyone's after this, this Ishin game, but it's not out. And James in the Reddit I can't believe it. Everyone can't believe it's not out. Like what? No one cares about that. No.
It reminds me of when Paul Rudd was there for the finale of Friends, where everyone was having a meltdown about it being the final episode after they finished recording, and Paul Rudd had only been on it for about a season. So he apparently went up to one of the producers and went, "What a ride, huh?"
Yeah.
All right,
that's James in the Yakuza subreddit. Speaking of Tiny King,
that's why I brought that story up, Matt.
No, it's clever. I'm just clever. Ronnie, thanks chaps for the Tiny King recommendation. I wouldn't have thought twice about giving it a go. Otherwise, my gaming mojo has been severely lacking recently. But I spent a very enjoyable weekend ploughing through it and loved every minute. Cheers from Ronnie.
Oh man, there's nothing better, is there, Sean?
There's not. There's been a few tweets as well, hasn't there, and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's funny, isn't it? When you get an indie game from a small studio and you notice that it's not getting sort of the attention that maybe
Elden
you
Ring.
think it deserves.
That was Elden Ring for me.
Call of Duty, Black Ops.
FIFA
22. Okay. It's funny, isn't it? We've had a few of those where we've really sort of gunned for a game and we're really giving it. I'm trying to think of some of the others that we were really Yoku's Island Express.
Yeah.
That was another one where it wasn't getting much. And I'm not saying that we sort of
we championed it.
We broke that game because that's not what happens. But the fact. There's nothing better than when you find a little hidden a bit of gold like that, and you talk about it on the show, and then suddenly you're getting tweets saying, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" Tinykin is one of those. It's absolutely brilliant, and
I think because it's one of those games that you might even try it off your own back and spend 5 minutes with it and be like, "Yeah, it seems okay." But how because people have said, I played a bit and I thought it was all right, and then I heard you going on about it. And I've gone back, and it's
You have to persist. You absolutely have to persist with it.
Or the worst, the flip side of that is when you fall in love with a game, genuinely connect with a game, rave about it, and then people message you going, "Future Unfolding's rubbish, David. I don't know why you keep going on about it. I just really liked it. All right, I just really liked it." Next bit of feedback.
Yeah, Rectory. So, dear TCGS Cargo. Now, I googled that and I was like, what are they trying to get us to say? But it's actually a food type. It's Pano Raisin.
It's snail.
Oh, I googled it and it's like Pano Raisin. So
what? Oh, I see, because it looks like a snail shell.
Yeah,
no, it's
like
French
snail
for snail.
Pastry, yeah. Did you say snails, James?
Yeah, snails.
Yeah, it's French for snail. Escargot is
okay.
Snail in French.
I just googled that and I was like, oh, okay, lovely little pastry. Anyway, this is the second week in a row.
Snails, Matt.
Yeah,
what did you Google?
Pastry came.
Did you just Google escargot?
Yeah.
And it come up pastry?
Because it must have auto-completed. It must have auto-completed. That's what happened, yeah.
No, it just says it's just snails here, mate.
Yeah. It must have auto-completed with pastry anyway. This is
I don't think it did. There must be another explanation. It doesn't
how would I have got pastry if I didn't know what the word meant?
That's what we're trying to find out, Matt.
Autocomplete. Right, let's move on. Pilgoo very angry.
Autocomplete. Escargot just changed it to Greg's.
No, I put escargot and the first one down was pastry afterwards.
Let's all go to Greg's.
Right. Rector Reese, this is really important we get the name right. This is the second week in a row the title of the episode hasn't been something that's been said in the episode. I love the anticipation of waiting to hear where the title came from, hearing it verbatim. It's always a nice thing you guys seem to do different from other pods. Please stop playing fast and loose with the titles. Cheers. Love y'all. Now, I hate to do this to Rectories because I've been listening for a long time, but you're absolutely fucked it because Dave said that exact phrase in the episode.
What was the phrase?
The name of the title, which was
James
Newsman.
Yeah. Yeah, we
James
said it several times.
Oh, yeah, James Newsman. Yeah, we said that. We said that a few times.
Yeah, so I've got it here. Here we go.
Oh, go on. Nice.
Intro to you. Easy. I'm going to just go news. Okay, I'm up for that. I approve. Refresh and improve. I love this new newsman. Mm-hmm. New newsman. So James Newsman.
There we go.
There we go, Rectory. So yeah, that was around the 10:25 mark. So I mean, look, you've really got to sort your life out, and if you want to attack us on these things, you've got to get the facts straight. And
If you come at us, you've got to be spot on, because you will be exposed.
Very embarrassing, Rex and Reese. Don't know which one was your first name, but it's a shame. It's a real shame. Let's move on. The interventioner. I enjoyed the intervention. Please continue to stage interventions live on the podcast. We got loads of feedback on this.
Be doing them rather than listening to them on podcast.
What sort of intervention are you for? You're doing is going, do another one.
Do another one. Intervention someone. No, you're not. You're just What would you call that? What would their nickname be? The intervention, I don't know, viewer? Listener?
Fan. Yeah, I don't know. There's no...
Fan of intervention.
Yeah. The interventionist.
Yeah. Go on.
We've got loads of feedback on this. I'll start reading now. Alex79, hello. I felt like I wanted to jump to Matt's defence this week. Well, jump might be a little strong. Perhaps a hop. I'll hop to Matt's defence. Regarding the Microsoft reward points, while I agree that spending money on movies you don't really need or want for points is silly, I've been using the MS reward point service for the last year since I got my Xbox. I've not spent a single penny, and for less than 5 minutes a day, I can play a game I've earned enough points to buy Red Dead Redemption 2, the Mafia Trilogy, GTA 5 Remastered, Elden Ring, and loads of other lower cost games. You don't actually have to spend any time getting the points. Most of the challenges are just play this game, and you can just start it up via cloud streaming and immediately quit it once it's loaded. I'll definitely carry on doing this, as it's an easy way to get free games. That's all. Thanks for the show. We'll move on to next one as well. Annabelle, in defense of Microsoft reward points here that keep getting shat on, I started using it 2 years ago after losing my job during COVID, and since then I've bought 57 games, 5 lots of DLC, and rented or bought 4 games. I see it as an addition to Game Pass, and it's been great seeing as I couldn't afford to buy games. For people like me who can't afford a new game, or every new game, and certainly don't get any for free like you guys, as for buying stuff to get more points, I use the points to do that too. So in the summer showcase, I bought Cult of the Lamb and others and got 5,000 points, which is like £4. Using points to get more free points. You could say Matt doesn't have to do this stuff, but still, who doesn't like getting things for free? This is the last one now. Kurt Lewin, I feel the need to stick up for Matt on the Microsoft reward points. I think if anyone here is a fool, it isn't Matt. I get that before he was fully in the weeds of Microsoft reward points. It was an unhealthy obsession, but now I think it's fine and savvy. Since the beginning of the year, when I started a rewards count, I purchased free games and the odd month of Game Pass Ultimate via the points I've accumulated. In order to get these points, the only effort I put in is clicking of a button to claim reward points, which you get for getting achievements, which takes all of 5 seconds at the end of a gaming session. Doing the 3 Bing searches today, which there is a Chrome extension for, which does automatically click on links to the quizzes each morning. You get points, click on the link. Yeah, so all in all, I think it's about 20-30 seconds of effort a day to save what so far it's been over £100. You don't have to do this stuff, but still, who doesn't like getting that stuff for free?
Okay.
There we go.
There you go. What?
Who wants to go first?
Which one of you wants to destroy it first?
Absolutely. If you skint and this is a way of getting stuff, of course, that's absolutely fine. No one's
been understanding.
Yeah, we totally get that. It's just that Matt's situation was a little bit different.
Yeah, because I always take it too far.
Were these? I mean, Kurt, have you been buying films and TV shows just to get points that you're never going to watch?
I don't even see. I think you're giving these guys too much credit. I think this is clearly a bunch of addicts getting in touch to defend another addict and saying, "No, it's fine. Actually, no, it's fine. It's actually really cool. There's not a problem." I suggest everyone you look at your own situations and go, "Should I be spending my time this way?" Yeah, it's not free. There's a reason why you're getting that stuff. It's not free. Yeah, have a look at yourself. Right? Don't immediately jump to Matt's effect. It is Matt has been spending money on films that he doesn't want so he can get a keyboard. What
great keyboard, though. This is when I was mega into it. It's not the same these days.
That's nerves coming through. Go on. This is when you were mega into it, right? But my point is that, Matt, is that it's quite an easy slope to slip down, isn't it? And, you got to pick up the early warning signs, mate. Mm-hmm. And when you're going, no, it's actually fine. It's actually fine, actually. It's totally fine what we're doing. It's totally fine. I mean, why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about this? And that just made me go, fucking hell, he's in this worse than he thinks. When people are ashamed of their own behaviour, they tend to lie and play things down. And we're worried about you, man. And it's sad to see so many of our listeners have also fallen into this trap. And they've come out of the woodwork. They're trying to normalise the behaviour by sending us messages.
Yeah, it's disgusting, actually. Alex MT9, Annabelle, and Kurt Lewin, never email us again.
I should say, you know what you've done. The comment about us getting free games, it's been pretty dry the last.
I can't remember
6 months.
Oh no,
to a year.
We've had some friends send some codes in and stuff, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. In terms of PR, we've pretty much sacked off PR completely, haven't we?
Yeah,
hated that. Thanks to Patreon, obviously, all of that goes towards code and stuff for us.
Yes, I suppose. Yeah, we might not get free code, but we do get free money to buy games stuff with every month. So.
But isn't that better? Because then we don't have to fucking send them. We never changed our opinion on a game based on the fact that we got it for free, like from a PR company back in the day. But it was always awkward sending the PR email saying, here's the clip of us saying your game is fucking shit.
Well, this is it, yeah. I'd still say the game was bad. I just might conveniently forget to send it to the PR.
Send in the coverage, yeah. I did that a few times. And then you get a message, guys, can we...
Yeah, I covered it 3 weeks ago, but I need to listen to it. It's
Sometimes I just sent them a link to the podcast and didn't give them a timestamp.
Oh, because I just they won't bother.
Yeah, they won't bother looking through that. They just wanted a link to put in their document to say that we did something.
There was one I had. Who was it? I can't remember. They'll probably remember. And they'd sent us something, and I replied to, nice one. I'll send you the link when the coverage is up. And he just replied like, "Don't worry, I already listened." Winky face. I was like, "Oh no!"
Well, saves my time.
But yeah, Matt's in trouble. So we're just. Let me ask you a couple of questions, Matt.
Yeah.
Have you opened the points reward app this week since we last spoke?
No, because I haven't played my Xbox since Immortality finished. Right. Elodie's played Roblox, but I haven't.
Okay, calm down. This is very defensive.
I mean, let's be clear. He's allowed to open the app.
Yeah. No, he's not. Why would he be allowed to open the app?
It's his choice. He can do what he likes.
As we've heard, there are relatively healthy ways
but Matt
to use the app.
can't do it that way, can he? That's the whole point in the conversation last week. Were you not here? Were you not part of the intervention?
To be fair, that did go a bit.
I'm so all or nothing. It's ridiculous. It does my head in too, but that's my lot.
If anything, it's more upsetting for me, guys. So
imagine living like this, where everything is all or nothing. It's so tiring. Anyway,
it's like when I shouldn't really say this, but it's like when I fuck up at work and I'm apologising to someone for it, and I go, no, I'm annoyed about it as well. I'm the one that did it, so I can't be that. I'm just pissed off with myself, if anything. So you don't need to have a go at me.
I've let myself down.
I've really punished myself with.
And that is the real punishment here. We don't do any further.
I don't need any more than that.
Yeah, nothing you do will be as bad as what I'm doing to myself. So let's leave it there. Fired? What? No, I've done worse than that to myself. So.
Right, is that it for the feedback?
Go to tcgs.co/deartcgs to leave your feedback.
Yeah, or don't. If you don't fancy leaving feedback, that is an option too.
No, we love all feedback. It's great to read all feedback, everything that comes through that inbox.
Not absolutely everything. There was a couple we had to delete this week, I'll be honest.
Oh yeah, there was that really long one that was like, you don't care about your listeners or something, and then said all you do is focus on stuff on the video. And I wanted to point out that actually we didn't even have the video on last week. Yep. So whatever you think we're doing is not happening.
Well, to be fair, the accusation, Dave, was that you personally had given up on being an entertainer.
I mean, I would really question that. I mean, he's showing off constantly.
Imagine if I was trying to be an entertainer. That's the worrying thing. That was my main aim.
You're Hulk in the Avengers. Your secret is you can't turn it off. You just.
I understood that reference. Yeah. Right. Should we get to the news?
Yeah. So there's been a lot of Ubisoft stuff this week.
I don't know any of this, so I'm fascinated to hear.
Okay.
And I see, if I'm right, all of this stuff that's come out was done around marketing for them. Is that?
How do you mean?
Well, did they release make some announcements for some new games?
They did, but we're not going to talk about that.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about that yet.
No, but what I'm saying is
it's in the doc.
Oh no, I said yet. We're not going to talk about that yet.
No, but what I'm saying is that isn't it convenient that all of this stuff has come up around the time where they're trying to market their new games?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
So, I mean, I thought what we'd do is begin with them it's Yves Guillemot has been addressing the issues that there've been at Ubisoft. There's a long piece in gamesindustry.biz that goes through everything pretty much. Like, it's an incredibly long article, which is like worth having a look at. But I've sort of picked some of the bits that I thought were sort of more pertinent out of it. I mean, I also think it's probably best just to quote him, and then you'll get an idea of where his mind is with this. Mm. So he begins. He says, "It was a shock when it first happened. This is the reveal of the abuse, etc. We thought we were doing the right thing, but we realised that there were a certain number of things we should change. So we acted quickly in cutting some people's jobs and in taking actions on many fronts so that it could never happen again. We introduced systems so that people could anonymously say if something is not working, and that would go to an independent company that could analyse what was going on, investigate and find solutions. We have really looked at all the things that have existed and looked at solving them the best way we could." So, as I said, gamesindustry.biz have a big rundown of this, and they also spoke with it's Maria Sophie de Vorbert, who is one of the main human resource kind of people there, and she says it's not enough. Of course, we need to do more. But then A Better Ubisoft, they contacted them and spoke with them about it, and they said that they still haven't been invited to be involved with any of the changes that are being made. Although Ubisoft dispute this, they say actually they have reached out to them, etc. And Yves himself, he says, "We want to ensure an inclusive, rewarding, and respectful workplace for all. Yes, we stumbled, and we have acknowledged that. We learned a lot along the way and have made meaningful progress." And then, really, I mean, the whole article really boils down to him talking about how he's going to fix all this. And and then it goes on about the blockchain and NFTs, but I'm not getting to that because that's really boring.
It's what pisses me off is that even in this is him trying to own up to it, and he's still his language is trying to minimise it. Oh yeah, we stumbled.
No,
there was a fucking
offensive.
massive scandal, you prick. Sorry, we made a whoopsie. No, this was huge. I don't know. It still feels like he doesn't get it. And anything he's doing and saying at this point is purely just to save his own arse because people keep shouting at him, and he doesn't really understand the problem. Or I don't know.
There is room for companies to grow and to change, and that's what we want, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think it's his place to say that they've grown and changed. No. I think it's for the staff that that work there to say it. Mm-hmm. So it is strange.
Why is he talking about it at all? Yeah, he should shut up and go away.
As we said at the time, he was the head of that company. Even if he didn't know what was going on within the company, he was still in charge. Do you know what I mean?
Still on his watch.
He should have known what was going on. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's why we were saying at the time he's got to go. Obviously, he hasn't gone. But when you've got, it never really works with me when you've got a group within that company saying we haven't been asked to the table, we've not been brought into the discussion, and then the higher ups at that company go, yeah, you have. Then you go, well, I know I'm more likely to believe.
Yeah, it's well, if you have, then surely there's an email you can show us.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know for sure, obviously, but it is kind of if I was to believe one side over the other, then it would, we all know which way that would go. Mm-hmm. I think it needs more than this. It needs more than these every now and then. I mean, it's been 2 years since the last announcement, and we've had another article in between those 2 years saying that there are still problems at Ubisoft. So, and those weren't addressed. They were just completely ignored. So, it's good that they've spoken about it, I think, because let's face it, they've been quiet about it for 2 years. But what concerns me is that one, it was done around their marketing push, and two, it doesn't seem to correspond with what staff are saying. And that's who we should be hearing from on these problems, not the top dog.
I was going to say,
it makes no sense.
There is more, because they've also given much sort of further details about what they've actually done. Also, Marie-Sophie de Vorbert is the senior vice president. She's not right. From HR. But this is the chief people officer, which is Annika Grant, and she's detailed a number of like new initiatives that they've done to improve company culture. So they're launching a global self-identification program. And according to Games Industry.biz, they said that this will invite employees to confidentially and voluntarily share more information about themselves, including gender identity, race, ethnicity, and any disabilities. And there's also going to be another initiative called Project Rise, which is a 5-year strategy to ensure that Ubisoft better reflects the diversity of our players. And this is going to be through hiring strategies, it seems to be. But they also said that there's been a big focus on gender equality, and in the recent year, they've reduced the gap from 1.7% to 1.3% between men and women. And this is women now represent 25% of all employees, which is up from 22%, and 42% of the company's executive committee and 45% of the board of directors are also women. And 1/3 of all hires over the past 12 months have also been women. But then also, as you said, A Better Ubisoft have stated, like, after this, they said that it's true that some abusers have been fired, but then some have been moved around the company, and some have even been promoted. And I mean, they said, we personally made complaints against these people. Some of us witnessed and experienced abuse from them firsthand. Not only do we believe it's still happening, but we can see it happening for ourselves. But then Grant responded to this, and she said, Ubisoft responded swiftly to the allegations that arose in 2020. And since then, we have made great strides on our commitment to building a workplace where everyone feels safe, valued, and respected. There you go.
Just going back, David, you said you're like, oh, it's bad that they were linking this in with marketing, but surely that's better. Like, that they could have taken the other route out, which is basically do a press release that no one's going to read and a blog post. The fact they've actually combined it with where the most amount of eyes are on, where like the
well, it depends. Did they do it? So I don't know. I haven't been following the Ubisoft this week. So but what I want to know is, did they do this during? So did they release like a video? Did they have a presentation of what's coming up?
Yes, they did.
Was any of this? Was any of this in that?
No, this was in a interviews they did with.
It's what we said. It's what we said a couple of years ago, Matt. Where last time they put out an update or a response to the allegations before their main marketing video. So everyone's talking about Ubisoft at the moment. Now, the cynical side of me would be saying that you put a positive message about what you're doing with your company, followed by the games that you're announcing all in one space. It's all getting looked at. I don't know how you deal with that, because you're right. There would be part of me that's going, "Oh, you're doing this in the middle of nothing." But then surely that's got to be better.
Well, because surely
it's just out of nowhere they put a video out addressing it all.
Yeah, like they shouldn't be doing this for marketing's sake, I think is the point. Like they shouldn't care how many eyeballs are on this stuff, because they should just care about the fact that they are doing it. Do you know what I mean?
And more importantly, they should present it in a way that seems like it's coming from their staff.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a terrible thing to say.
No, I know what you mean. They should be letting the staff speak about it.
They should be letting the staff speak about it.
Yeah.
Like, and not, it's...
And that's the thing, because this A Better Ubisoft, some of those people are currently there, but they only speak under anonymity.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to, say who they are, because obviously maybe there'll be repercussions, which doesn't sound like very inclusive and equal to me.
Yeah, it's I mean, as I said, there's always room for a company to grow and to change, I believe, right? And I'm not here to write off everyone at Ubisoft, write off the any games that are coming out or whatever. What I'm here to say is that they need to they've got to dig themselves out of a horrific work environment that they've had there. And doing that is not as easy as just whacking out a video 2 years after the last one explaining what they've done, even though there are reports from within the company saying something different. Doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I'm glad there seems to be some change. So let's hope for more of that.
Yeah, weird that it's taken this long, but it does, there is clear evidence that things are shifting somewhat, and that is progress.
Well, let's hope that continues.
Exactly.
And we hope, as horrible it is to read news stories, but the more places they get exposed, the more they'll realise that actually, like that sort of culture is just not acceptable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the more people that report on it, talk about it, write about it, they're holding them to account, and that's all we can do from this side, trying to force change by keep talking about it.
Yeah, okay.
So they also had the Ubisoft Forward, where they revealed like a whole bunch of information. I mean, I don't think any of us are particularly massive Assassin's Creed fans.
All of this aside, right? All of this aside, and it shouldn't be, obviously, but all of this aside, right? I can't remember the last time I was into Ubisoft. There was a time where it really looked like they were pushing forward, where they had, Far Cry 3, Rainbow Six Siege. They had these like games that Watch Dogs 2 was all right. It didn't explode, but it was a well-respected game for the people that liked it.
Watch Dogs 2 was all right.
It was. I liked it.
And it looked like there was some excitement there, but it seems to all dropped off. Like, I don't know what's happened to Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, it must have been a couple of weeks, maybe a month ago. Like, games like Riders Republic that is apparently great, and yet seems to be permanently on sale now because there was just zero noise about it. It's really strange.
And it's a shame because those ones that I think they now call these Ubisoft Originals, don't they? Like these like games like that, and it's like
Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty similar, yeah. But when those sorts of things don't hit, which they don't seem to, it just seems to mean that they just double down on being like, okay, we need lots more Assassin's Creed.
Which is weird because we've seen them like with Siege, like we saw that it came out, didn't get much traction straight away, but they stuck with it and they got loads of praise for that, and it has paid off. Or maybe it hasn't, right? Maybe it looks like it has to us, but maybe financially, actually, they realised it wasn't worth it. And maybe that's why they're binning everything. But there was a time where it was like, no, do you know what? Ubisoft fucking stuck by Rainbow Six Siege and they got it where it needed to be, and it was really fucking good. Whereas, now it feels like they just sort of put games out and then you don't hear about them ever again.
So there's been like Ghost Recon was a massive sort of franchise for them, which has now sort of the last one was it? I think it was Wildlands, wasn't it? Was not great. That came out.
Oh yeah.
But again, that was when they started. Yeah, it was all like that was the one that they put the blockchain stuff into, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
People were. Yeah, that was. I think that was the one where they started trying that. To try and do like blockchain stuff.
Right.
And it didn't go down so well.
Lovely.
But anyway. It's the 15th anniversary of Assassin's Creed.
Oh, good.
So they announced a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, they've got this Infinity franchise hub that they're developing, which to me sounds a bit like Halo Waypoint. Like the sort of of a hub for like all things Assassin's Creed. But they're also launching there's going to be 4 new games after Mirage, and one is codenamed Red, which is going to be set in feudal Japan, and that's apparently coming 2024. Then there's another one called, I think it's Hexa, which is what they're calling a different experience.
Or Hex, that's the one that because all these had very short kind of 15-second CGI kind of teaser trailers. This one looked kind of, Blair Witchy, I guess is what I can say. It had like the Assassin's Creed logo in tied up wood, like like Blair Witch. So that's interesting.
So they had that, and then there's also Assassin's Creed Invictus, which is a standalone multiplayer game. And that's from the For Honor and Rainbow Six Siege teams. Like they're working on that, and they've got another one called Assassin's Creed, codename Jade, which is a mobile game, and this is like being described as like a AAA RPG action adventure that's set in ancient Japan, and this is going to be free to play.
Is that not in China? That one?
China. It's ancient China. It's supposed to be, but the thing is, I looked at that and they zoomed in on the character at the end, and I thought his clothing looks just like kind of... I mean, I'm probably completely wrong about this because I'm not entirely familiar with ancient China. But it looked... No, ancient China's not my thing. It's modern China I know more about. And it's... But it looked kind of like Ezio's clothing or something like that. And I thought, that doesn't look entirely like...
I mean, I can see why, because I know the whole... Yeah. Like, there is that sort of weird stylistic consistency, isn't there, between... all the assassins through all the games, but yeah. I'll
tell you what, we're definitely the right podcast to be talking about all this Assassin's Creed
100% content. No, I mean even not as a not a huge fan of the series or anything. Does anyone feel like them doing one in feudal Japan is them finally like pulling the ripcord? Like, yes, fine, we'll do one with ninjas in, since that's basically what the game's been about
for a long time.
I think that's what they're doing. I don't know. What was the one that I always wanted them to do?
South London?
Birmingham. No, they've done a London one, haven't they?
They did.
Yeah, they did.
Crap.
or one of the less?
No, that was quite a good one. I
Okay.
think that was quite a well respected one. It was the one where there was like you could play the female or the male character.
Ooh.
That was a big thing
Yeah,
at the time
it
because
was.
they'd previously said that it was impossible because
It was
they walked
too expensive.
Yeah, women are too different. It can't be done. Yeah, it was that was weird.
Then they did it the year after. I missed the ones where they had to try and rush them out every year, and then we got like all screenshots of just eyeballs and teeth floating about.
That was
Great
Assassin's
day.
Creed Unity, wasn't it? Which
That
came
was my
out, it was a
favourite. There was a
complete-
couple of them that
Yeah.
come out a total mess, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the glitches were just too good.
And there was also like remasters. They did that remaster of Unity, I think it was as well, which was like looked worse than the original, like
they?
significantly.
Yeah.
It was like,
And then it's that and Fallout. They're my favourite launch titles. Where is the like Fallout? I'll never forget the one Fallout New Vegas where you woke up because you woke up in like a hospital bed and a doctor was sitting over you. And the guy's head just rotated on its neck.
Oh,
like,
God, yeah.
completely the right way. It's just so funny.
it's
I
like
love
I'm
stuff
just
like-
talking to some eyeballs. You know, at the moment.
There's a bunch of games actually like that. So the WWE games are the other ones where they glitch out at launch for ages. You know, they're always quite good. And FIFA, Matt, how good is it? Like a week after the new FIFA comes out, where you're seeing players run along with their leg bent the wrong way.
Yeah, and like the
completely.
weird physics. Yeah, they're my favourite bugs in these games, or in
I mean,
FIFA in any
that
game,
was one
really.
of the things that sunk like Mass Effect Andromeda.
I was going to say, yeah, because I
I
feel like Andromeda was like the last one of those. Maybe there's probably been others since, but I feel like that's become
eFootball
such a...
was really bad for that.
Was it? Fair enough. I feel like that got so roasted over that stuff that like we haven't really had many games like that since, where there's like people posting funny glitches. There's Red Dead 2.
Cyberpunk?
I've seen Red Dead 2 videos where like people's horses float into the air and then set on fire and stuff. That's pretty.
Do you remember the
incredible.
horse lady in Red Dead 1? Do you remember that?
Oh, no,
That
I don't
was
think
the
I
thing.
do.
Yeah, where it was like a horse with a lady's head just walking around like on the back feet. It was just so. And there's still one of my favourites was when there was a FIFA once where, like within a week coming out, I think it was a goalkeeper taking a goal kick, and he went to kick the ball, but the ball stayed where it was, and the goalkeeper just went up into the air.
So good.
I always like it when you have
Amazing.
collisions in that as well, and
Yeah.
then sometimes they go
They
out
get
of control,
tangled.
and it's like all the players are going all over the place. It's all funny.
It's the absolute best.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah,
new
so,
FIFA
I
coming
mean-
out in a few weeks.
But yeah, Assassin's Creed Mirage. I don't think we talked about that previously, but that's one set in
Mirage.
Baghdad, isn't it? So that's
Okay.
Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, again, what annoys me about Assassin's Creed is every year, like, well, when it come out, some people talk about it, and it will sound amazing, it'll look amazing, and then I'll just play it for not long enough, and then say no, this is not for
same
me.
stuff.
But for
Yep.
fans of the series to get all these games announced and quite a long roadmap, it seems, for these like future Assassin's Creed games, it must be pretty exciting. And also such varied
Really?
locations as well.
Do you think they're sitting there just going, "Oh, fucking hell, leave off, give us a rest, will you?"
Well, if everyone's like 100-hour epic, like I think the last one was, then
Yeah, Valhalla was
that's
huge.
an
wasn't
awful
it?
lot
But
of
you
game.
see, this is the thing. I still think it is like kind of. I know that they do this obviously for financial reasons because they make loads of money off every single one they release. But it's
Yeah.
like creatively releasing one every year like this just feels it can't be good.
Well, they stopped, didn't they? That's the whole point. Is they slowed down for a bit.
Yeah, they've had a couple of year off, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, look at this fucking podcast. One every week. Creatively, we have plummeted. We've
Drained
plummeted. We're
Yeah, creatively
scraping the
bankrupt.
barrels. We're going to do a whole thing next year. We got penciled in James getting a tattoo. And he's going to keep it slowly reveal it. That's why we're doing. Let's be honest. That's why we're doing it on Twitch. The shows.
Yeah.
We're not this week or last week actually, but that's why we're doing it on Twitch, so we can slowly reveal that James is getting a tattoo, and we've got a whole thing on that. Chen's coming on.
We got the Peter Moore reveal. You know, like,
Yeah. In 2024, this podcast will be recorded in feudal Japan.
Yep.
So
Can't wait.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
Sean's going to glitch out. Just get stuck into his microphone. Right, okay. That's
So-
enough jokes.
there was other stuff. They also showed a trailer for Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. And Rayman's going to be in some sort of DLC. So,
Hooray.
So, Sean, you're the only one out of us that played the previous Mario and Rabbids games.
Oh, I played that
James
as well.
Farley
Yeah, James loved it.
smashed
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you all excited for
He
this?
didn't love it.
Oh, did you
Hold
not?
on. Did he tell you he loved it?
No, maybe I've just
He fucking hated it.
decided. Oh, okay, no, I liked it.
James, I'll never forget how frustrated he got with that game. Well, you were close to breaking your Switch at one point. If I remember, I saw you. I sat next to you while you played it for 2 hours, and you just went, "I don't fucking get it. What am I supposed to do?" And I'm like, all right, mate. I'm driving home from Leeds. Okay.
That's coming out in October anyway.
So are you excited for that, Sean?
Woo.
I guess. Don't know.
It's funny though, isn't it? This because this the first one of these did really well, and everyone was really pumped for it and everything. Whereas this one, no one seems to care. That's the impression I've kind of got, is that nobody seems to really that bothered. And I just wonder, is that because of all the Ubisoft stuff?
I think. Do you want my theory?
Go on.
The first one come out very early on in the life of the Switch.
That is definitely a factor.
So everyone wanted something.
Well, yeah, and plus even if
Mario in it.
Even if you're a fan of turn-based strategy games, there's plenty to choose from on Switch now. Like because when this came out, it's like, oh man, this is kind of like XCOM but on my Switch. I'm pretty sure you can get XCOM on your Switch.
Yeah, you can. I think.
So
yeah. I don't know, and then you don't have to deal with the look, it's a rabbit dressed as Princess Peach going.
Look, went yeah.
Rayman though, it's got Rayman.
Well, the DLC's got Rayman.
Is there?
Pay for
Rayman's been in some good games, right? The Legends games are great or whatever, but fucking what a shit character.
This is it. Yeah, it's like I've enjoyed Rayman games, but when you tell me you're putting Rayman in a game, I'm not like, yeah, Rayman. I don't. None of the attachment is to him.
If Rayman was in if Rayman was in Smash Brothers, no one's choosing Rayman, are they? No one's doing it. Rayman in Mario Kart. Nah, you're all right, mate. I'll choose my Mii.
Yeah.
My favourite Rayman moment is when James said that was the amiibo when we lied to Dave about the entire Nintendo conference. He said, yeah, it's good. There's a Rayman. And you were like, okay, James, answer this. How do they do the arms?
Sticks.
Plastic sticks.
Transparent
sticks.
You can do that. It's fine.
I had thought of that. Come on, what's next?
Okay, then also there was a new trailer for Skull and Bones. I mean,
oh my god, really? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there was a new trailer for it. Yeah.
No, you're bullshitting.
That's isn't that out fairly soon?
Yeah.
Skull and Bones, the You Are Boat game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I thought that was gone.
No. There was a month or two ago. They did a big reveal that it's definitely coming out, and
this is one of those ones where I'm probably totally wrong about this.
Here we go.
I'm certainly totally wrong about this.
Strap in, everyone.
This by Tarantino.
Isn't this being produced in a studio in Asia, and they have to finish it because of tax breaks?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, aren't they? Yeah, they're coming to the end of some sort of tax break arrangement.
And there has to be product has to come out of this.
I've got to say that instills a hell of a lot of confidence that that's going to be a good game. Then, if they've had to push it out for tax breaks,
I still can't believe. I was talking about Black Flag the other day, Assassin's Creed 4. The only one I've enjoyed because it's got pirates in it. You know what I'm like for pirates, bloody love them. And I was saying how like the best bits of that game were like, okay, when you're on the ship, like you are the ship, but then when you fighting other ships and you go to like capture them, that's when you're the assassin again, right?
Yeah, you swing across.
And you're like swinging across, you're like jumping on all the jumping around on the sails and the masts and stuff, jumping between the ships at like fucking 50 feet.
You guys,
exactly, mate. Doing all that stuff, like that was the best thing about it. Was that like yes, at times you were the ship, but also then you were the person on the ship running around doing stuff, killing other people. Like it was amazing, and none of that appears to be in Skull and Bones, as far as I'm aware. You just are the ship, and then you're the person. You're the person when you're on land, and you're just walking around town. I don't know, buying.
Oh, really?
Shit.
There is bits where you're not on ship.
You can walk around town.
Or does the ship grow legs and start wandering around town?
Just reaches the shore. And then
why wouldn't you do that? Like, why wouldn't that be the route you take? Where you just go, do you know what? The ship goes for a port and then shrinks down and legs pop out and then you wander around.
The little guy
would be amazing.
And you pick it up and then you put it into your ship. Like his little arms come out and they grab what you need, like an apple or whatever. You put it in the ship. And then when you get massive, you got a massive apple in the middle of the ship that you need to chop up and serve to your folk.
And then when
I can't believe they didn't do
that. Sorry, Matt. What was that?
I said when the ship's in the water, it's basically swimming, arms and legs all over the shop. That's how it's powered.
I mean, it's interesting. Obviously, as a Sea of Thieves fan, I look at Skull and Bones and it's like, yeah, that doesn't quite deliver what I want. But then also I've seen people saying like, I tried to play Sea of Thieves, it's full of pricks. So Skull of Bones seems ideal because I can have a pirate experience without other people ruining it. So
I can see the
really
benefit
going
of
to split up the pirate community.
It's going to be I'm dreading it, mate. It's going to be awful.
So what side? Are you going to stay loyal to Sea of Thieves?
Yeah, of course I am.
Even though it's not Sea of Friends.
It is actually Sea of Friends. That's actually what it's called. You've not seen the streams, Dave?
No, I've avoided those.
It's Sea of Friends so much that when I write the details for your stream on YouTube, when I go to search add the game, I start writing Sea of Friends, and I have to remember it's not actually called that. It's called Sea of Thieves. That's how much it's now flipped for me.
Yeah.
Captain Jack Sparrow's not going to be in Skull and Bones.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. He's not going to be any Monkey Island Easter eggs in Skull and Bones. Fuck it.
You reckon he is?
I bet he is. There'll be DLC, won't there? Or something.
Imagine if that was the next thing. It's like, oh yeah, not only is Jack Sparrow in Skull and Bones, but it's a continued crossover from Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, you've got to. Otherwise, you don't get the full Jack Sparrow experience.
Yeah, exactly. You want to know what happens to him? Got to buy Skull and Bones.
Oh, hello. Oh, fucking hell, he's back.
They've got to finish the game because isn't the TV series still happening?
Oh, that's right. It is, isn't it?
Yes, there is. Yeah. That's supposed to be happening.
There's a TV series of what? The
Skull and Bones, the hit video game, Dave.
Wow. Okay. It's weird.
Okay. Then also, apart from Skull and Bones, they had the usual.
Is it talking boat in it?
We're yet to find out.
Okay. All right. Look forward to it. Sorry, James.
They're also doing, obviously, Just Dance 2023.
Oh, good.
Exciting.
I was getting worried.
It's one of the biggest, biggest sellers. It's fucking massive.
It's licensed to print money.
Do you know, actually...
Did you watch that? Game on Grandparents?
No.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
So BBC did it was CBB. No, it wasn't CBBS. It was, what they call it? CBBC. Yeah. They did a show called Game on Grandparents, which was my fucking idea. I swear I came out with it about 5 years ago. How if I was doing a thing, it would be kids teaching their grandparents how to play. I'm sure I've got it somewhere on an episode where I come up with this idea because I was going to do it with my dad.
This is that Stuart Lee bit where he thinks he invented Rat in Me Kitchen by UB40.
No, but I'm sure because I remember thinking I want to train my dad to play Call of Duty and he's got to play someone else's dad. Mm-hmm. I think it was an idea we had with the four of it. Anyway, they stole my idea and they did a TV show out of it where the kids get to do. But the first episode, the game that the kids had to teach their grandparents to play was Just Dance.
Oh.
And I just thought, and so the idea is they train them how to play the game and then they go to an arena with an live audience and they compete against the other grandparents to try and win and get through to the final or whatever. I just thought a bit harsh if you get the Just Dance one because you just... what they thought they were going to do is play a game on stage in front of a bunch of people, but now they've got to stand up and
actually dance.
Do a little dance.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Plus, it's not really a game. Like, I'm not being a snob. I just it's a different.
Snobby Sean.
Could you imagine if they said, and this week's Game on Grandparents, our grandparents are going to be competing over Gone Home, Immortality.
Speedrunning it. Speedrun. Holy shit. Immortality speedruns. That's something we never got onto last week. That'll be interesting, won't it?
Yeah, but they can't live stream. You get bad terms of service,
that's
man.
True, yeah.
Not for Matt. He didn't see any. But
I did in the end.
But I don't know. It's worth watching, actually, with the kids. We quite enjoyed it. But yeah, sorry, go on. What were we talking about?
Just Dance 2023, that's coming.
Was sort of hit songs have they got Rat in the Kitchen in it?
No idea.
They got Lady Gaga on it.
They got Lady Gaga's?
Probably. Then we've also got Rainbow Six Mobile is coming. So there's a Rainbow Six Mobile game coming.
Oh, good.
That's exciting. Next.
Then also The Division. Year 5 of The Division is happening, and they're also releasing a free-to-play version of The Division called The Division Heartland, which is set in a small town in Middle America called Silver Creek.
So whatever.
Get excited.
I'll never forget that game, Division 2. I've never found a game that sent me to sleep quicker. That it was nuts. I just remember I'd be like, let's play Division. Yeah, I'll put it on, load it up, get into a game, and then Like literally 10 minutes in, it was so weird.
Do you remember we played it like at one of those events?
Yes, at EGX. We played the demo.
Yeah, we did.
Great.
Yeah.
It was a really good time.
Really good.
Yeah,
it was really good.
And then that was the only bit of the game that was like that. The rest of it went all like linear, tiny little corridor shooting stuff. It's crazy.
One thing I've just noticed that's interesting is that this is just called The Division. Like Tom Clancy's a Division Heartland.
Yeah.
It's not Division 2.
I was just wondering about that. Weird. But then this is like...
Because obviously they released a second one. This is a whole Destiny 2 Destiny thing, which I think it should be just called Destiny. They should lose the 2. It feels like Ubisoft have done that. It's now just The Division Heartland. It's not The Division 2 Heartland, which I think sounds way better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, next story is that, what's his name? Jim Ryan is not happy about the whole...
I mean, when is it? Have you ever seen that man smile? I haven't.
No. So, I mean, he said that
if you put a press release outside, I'm doing all right tonight.
Jim Ryan, quote, feeling pretty good.
No,
Jim Ryan's having a good day.
The quote is, a smiling Jim Ryan says...
Life ain't all that bad.
Got out of bed and his slippers were just right there. He didn't remember leaving them by the bed, but there they are. And he stepped
right on.
Got home and there was a space right outside his house. Couldn't believe it. Usually it's a nightmare.
And he was about to leave the house and it was raining, and then the rain stopped. And then, would you believe it, as soon as he got to the office, he got in the door, started raining again. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, which was great because he didn't want to water the plants when he got home. Go on.
Didn't have to.
So this is what he's got to say. He says, I hadn't intended to comment on what I understood to be a private business discussion.
Why is that so funny? Go on, sorry.
I hadn't intended to comment on what I understood to be a private business discussion, but I feel the need to set the record straight because Phil Spencer brought this into the public forum. And then he says, Microsoft has only offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends. After almost 20 years of Call of Duty on PlayStation, Microsoft's proposal was inadequate on many levels and failed to take account of the impact on our gamers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's proposal undermines this principle. And,
I mean, he's right, but also the fact that, he's right. Taking Call of Duty away from PlayStation gamers is actually, I think, it's the wrong thing to do. I think whatever. I love this though.
This is so good.
You get the top heads of these big companies just ignore each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might get like the odd congratulations, Microsoft, on your launch of your new console, and you just look at it and you go, "Oh, fuck
yeah, you
off.
don't really think that. Yeah.
You don't mean that. Like you hate them." But it's nice when all this comes out, isn't it? It's lovely to watch.
How does that, like logistically, how do those two people meet? Where do they meet? What are the arrangements?
It's just chip up. Let's see this for their better CEOs. That's what they do, isn't it?
Probably.
Isn't it?
But I just love that sort of like, I thought this was a private converson and he's been shooting his mouth off to everyone about this.
I wish he'd just gone all in and he was like, I thought it was a private conversation, but the prick Phil Spencer.
Yeah. I love it. I want a massive scrap. I want I want to see it. I want to see it all come out. Yeah. Well, you said this, but at the same time, you said that you wouldn't take the piss out of our Xbox One video about how we share games, and you did. So here's a little message to you, and you didn't send me a Christmas card last year, and I sent you one. So
I did send you an email saying we weren't doing it for environmental reasons this year, Phil.
Yeah, but fuck the environment is what I replied. Give me my card.
Can you imagine what it must be like at Sony though? Like if there's like people like, oh, Phil's tweeted again, and then just like see what Jim's saying, what his reaction is.
Oh, it'd be great if we had a proper. It was like, as you said last week, it was like that Apple versus Epic thing. Like no one really cared about the fucking court. It was just all the
stuff
gossip, all that lovely gossip that was seeping out from the sides, oozing out into the public.
Want like Jim Ryan's like assistant or whatever. And just being like, he's got this fucking meeting tomorrow, and I just know afterwards he's going to be an absolute twat. He's going to go. He's going to. Microsoft have got him over a barrel. He's going to fucking hate it, and he's going to come out, and he's just going to be in the worst mood.
No, see, I see it the other way. I see his assistant guy. Have you heard what Phil said? I've just heard what Phil said.
Listening through the door. What were they saying? What they saying?
Yeah.
But then you've also
Phil tweeted this.
You've got Phil tweeting stuff, and he's just like, he's gonna love this.
Do you reckon they're in a WhatsApp group together?
No. What? The assistants from both sides?
That'd be even better.
That'd be good.
I'd love to know at what level there's some crossover in terms of WhatsApp groups.
Yes.
I bet there's loads.
100%.
There's got to be, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
But no, this is amazing.
Well, because
I want more of this. I love this.
Sorry, Matt, go on.
I want to hear more of this. So it's good stuff.
Right, that was all a bit weird. Right, okay.
Next story is that Switch games are 2022's highest-grossing entertainment product in the UK.
Hooray!
88.7 million. So PlayStation came third, I think it was after that, which is a combination of physical sales for PS4 and PS5. And then Xbox came seventh, behind CDs, DVDs, and Blu-rays. And that was, but then that's like, I see. The thing is, this is the thing because Xbox's business is mostly subscription based now. Yeah, that's pretty much what they're doing with the whole Game Pass stuff.
Yeah,
and so this is all on boxed sales. So I'd imagine, of course, Xbox is not going to be as high up as that.
Yeah, comparisons is getting harder and harder.
Well, because it says
this isn't
even
me.
cassettes sold better than Xbox games last year. So
I mean, the fact
wild.
that, and this isn't me having a pop at the article, but it says encompassing both Xbox One and Series X/S boxed games. There aren't any Series S boxed games. There's no disc drive in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Got.
So there's no one who owns a Series S is buying anything boxed.
In fairness, there's a PS5 out there without disc drive in, so it's not like it's...
true.
But I do think it's a little bit more common. I'd love to know percentage of... But you're right, that all goes out the window, doesn't it? Because with Game Pass, it seems to be that's how people consume their content a lot on that machine. I'm not saying that's all people do, but it feels like it's mad that if you've got an Xbox, you've got Game Pass, surely. That seems to be the way it goes.
See, the thing that I thought was surprising about this is that, so you've got Switch games that have done really, really well. They came ahead of, it was vinyl album sales was number 2. And I had no idea that vinyl was that big.
Oh yeah, vinyl's
huge. Yeah, it's had a massive resurgence.
Yeah.
Massive. Well, because people miss now that music has gone so digital, people now miss the ritual, don't they, of putting a record on. I'm surprised that CDs is still doing as well as I don't know anyone
and
DVDs
entertains
CDs anymore.
DVDs I can see, but CDs, CDs feel like they're in the middle, but they've been squeezed out by Spotify or vinyl. Whereas DVDs, you can have DVD player in a kid's room, or I can see that. But CDs, wow, okay.
They made more than DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff, which is crazy. But either way, it did really well. But then also, the Switch, people seem to like it a lot. And it's funny how I feel like, to us, it feels like this is kind of coming towards the end of life, like the Switch. As in, it's
very much not coming to the end of its life.
It's not, is it? At all. And I think, especially for, what we could say maybe the mainstream or whatever, it still probably hasn't even peaked yet as being a thing.
What we look at it, we're the hardcore gamers, guys, right? So we look at it and just go, fucking hell, this machine is struggling. Do you know what I mean? We're getting games for it, it's struggling.
And don't get me wrong, I can still, I can load up Mario Kart 8 on the Switch and be like, I don't need games to look or run any better than this. But there are loads of exceptions to that, and there are so many games now that I just wouldn't consider the Switch version now.
Neon White was the one where I was like, I would kill to just play this on a proper on Xbox or PlayStation, because it's so low res and it's still struggling. And that's a game Neon White, right, James? So you can see that later levels, some of them you're just times. Fucking hell.
And that is a game where the timing is crucial as well. Right? It's not a game you can fuck around with the frame rate, is it?
No. So we see that side of it, but clearly, obviously, we're not the mainstream lot. They'll buy fucking anything. And
the other thing about it is, it's this is boxed game sales, and if you think the Wii was the thing that did really well, for Nintendo, but software sales were never like that.
They were never, not after the first year or two. I mean, they had a couple of hits, obviously. They had, Wii Fit and others. But no, nothing quite as big as this. This just seems they've absolutely nailed it. And who would have thought that it'd be this successful?
Yeah.
Do you know? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's breaking records seemingly every week, every month. So It's still selling incredibly well.
Speaking of which, there's a big Nintendo Direct announced for tomorrow, allegedly big. I mean, it's going to be... So it's at 3 p.m. UK time, and it's going to be 40 minutes of stuff mostly launching... Oh, I'll come to that. Launching this winter.
I'm doing a test tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to... Oh, no. Go on, James. Sorry.
So it's happening. It's like 40 minutes of stuff mostly launching this winter. So that means that there could be a couple of hints, I guess, of what's coming like next year. There's the usual rumours of like, Wind Waker HD, Metroid Prime Trilogy, etc. That's do the rounds every single Direct. Silk Song, that's another one that always gets rolled out but never happens. But the interesting thing is that the Direct, for people in the UK, it's not going to be live streamed. Nintendo put out a tweet. They said, as a mark of respect during this period of national mourning, we will not live stream tomorrow's Nintendo Direct. It will be published as a video on demand on our YouTube channel at 4 p.m.
I don't know what
tomorrow.
I don't know what.
David. It's what she would have wanted.
Well, I was going to say, let's not even get into feelings on last week's news, but come on.
Look, as I said, I'm not a royalist. I'm not against the royal family either. I'm not one of those people that's cheering when she died. Like I'll never understand that. But whatever. What I don't get is the way the some of the stuff that's been happening over the past couple, like Harry's Little League game getting cancelled, or me opening my banking app and it's saying the Queen's dead. Do you want reminding of this? But you see that?
Yeah, you said yeah.
It said the Queen, and then it said the date, but the year born, the year she died, and then it ... and you clicked it and it said, "Don't remind me of this again."
I mean,
please
to be
remind
fair,
me later.
I guess that's because they've used the existing notification
But
framework,
don't
right?
use
But
the
it's
existing
it's
thing
funny.
then, because it's fucking
Yeah,
weird.
it is. It's weird.
But this is absolutely ridiculous because you could still just get the feed from the American.
Yeah, you still watch the American one. Plus, what I don't understand the gesture. It's like, oh yeah, but it'll just be on an hour later on demand. Like, right? So what? Why?
Yeah, and you can watch it anyway because it's on the American one. So what's the
absolutely bizarre?
Yeah, what are you getting? It's really weird, isn't it?
Really weird.
It's up there with Poundland putting messages up everywhere. It's
Funko Pops.
Strange. I mean, it is right. Okay, we're not going into it obviously, but it's a strange time to be alive.
Yep.
It is a strange period to be, and we've had a lot of those recently. But who thought we would wake up when we woke up on Thursday? Who thought that by the end of the day would be in a day that everyone would be talking about for the rest of their lives, and then everything changes throughout the week because we got next Monday off.
Yeah.
I didn't know what saw that coming.
Is that so?
Yeah. Well, you haven't, James.
No, I haven't. Mate. Mind you, I've got the benefit of nobody talking about this.
That's true.
At all. So that's quite nice.
But yeah, all I'll say is if you are upset about it, don't feel ashamed to be upset about it. Just go about your business. Do you know what I mean? It's I don't know.
If you can't bring yourself to watch the American one at 3 p.m. because you're too upset, you can watch the UK one at 4.
You can watch it,
and you'll sit there and be like, "Do you know what? This is correct. Actually,
I needed that extra hour."
Do you reckon they'll do like a tribute at the beginning of the UK one as well?
What? It's like a fucking rabbit dressed up as a.
No, just like a no, like the tasteful
Mario looking like the Queen.
A picture of a a face and all that. I don't know.
No, they're not going to. What, made out of Mario characters?
No, just like a standard picture.
Yeah, you know what'll happen, right? They'll have a picture of her face, and it will go like black background. Picture of the Queen's face, and then it will cut and say, "Is coming to Smash Brothers."
Yeah,
that's what
you danced again. Oh dear!
I'm so sorry. Go on.
You see, listen to him. He's all, I'm not celebrating a death, but I will make funny jokes about it.
No, I will make funny jokes about the hysteria around it.
No.
But the actual act of her dying, I'm not. Yeah, that's where I draw the line. Okay, go on. For me.
The trouble with Nintendo Directs is that you can't predict them anymore, can you? It's like it's pointless saying, well, I think we can get this time because
to be fair, loads of
people
were saying there was going to be one, and now there is.
Yeah,
so actually,
but we get one most September, so there being one in September isn't a surprise. But saying, will there be Wind Waker? Will there be Metroid Prime Trilogy?
Yeah. So the Metroid Prime games, I know this is premature talking about it, but they're really good, right?
2 of them are, right, James?
Yes.
James
Metroid...
totally not paying attention.
No, because somebody's just sent me a message. Sorry,
right.
This is I've had a miscommunication with somebody, and now I've got egg on my face. Never mind.
I mean, we got to hear about this.
Can you share?
That sounds like bonus
you can't
show
say that,
stuff,
not tell us the details.
No, I was supposed to. They live in another country, and
is it one of us?
This doesn't matter.
It
absolutely doesn't matter, and I just don't know how to deal with this problem now.
Is it Dave? Is it Matt?
No, it's nothing to do with you. Just can we just move on?
Has Chen bought you the wrong tickets to somewhere and you're fuming?
No, it's just.
Have you said definitely watch the Nintendo show at 4 o'clock?
I better just reply. Hang on.
There's one at 3.
What? Fucking hell, James! You're on a podcast, mate.
Doesn't care, does he? Jesus Christ!
Leave this in, Matt. I want everyone to hear this.
Isn't it?
This is important.
Anyway, yeah. So Metroid Prime Trilogy, David, you were saying
the goods.
No, we were asking James whether they were.
I gathered 2 was a bit of a misstep. Is that right? And then I've played and finished 1 and loved it. And I gather 3 was great as well.
I played 1 and tapped out pretty early, so I'm hoping that my attitude has changed and that I've got some good games coming for my Nintendo Switch.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. The first, I really enjoyed the first one a lot, but the second one less so. It was not so great. Never played the third one.
After loving Dread, I definitely have a renewed love for Metroid, and I haven't played them either. So if that's the case, I'll be up for that.
If for those that are keeping score, I ditched Super Metroid. Fucking hell, some of that stuff in that game is so shit.
What?
Yeah.
Not the controls, though.
There's loads of stuff that it just doesn't tell you.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden,
back then that was the point.
Yeah,
but I know,
right now though,
modern,
fucking not.
Yeah, modern sensibilities, it does suffer a little bit.
I remember I went back and forth in that game everywhere trying to find out where to go next, and I finally looked it up, and it was like, just put a bomb in this tunnel thing, and the tunnel explodes. There's no indication that that's a thing.
See, we as children, me and my brother worked that out, but God, there's a lot of wandering around
because one of you looked it up in the magazine. Yeah, okay. James, are you with us yet?
Yeah, I'm fine.
He's got egg on his face, Dave.
Mate, I'm so close to making you tell us what's going on.
It's fine. Next story.
Doesn't sound like it's fine. Sounds like you got egg on your face, James. I'm hearing you speak, but there's all egg oil all around your mouth.
James, you do realise we're still recording the podcast, yeah?
Yeah, how long does it take you to fucking
James,
reply
do you want to
a
fucking
text?
edit this show, or do you just want to get on your phone and we'll get on with the show?
All right, I'm done. Right, anyway.
Unbelievable.
I just had to send proof. Right, here we go.
Proof? Of what? Stop saying weird shit that we don't know about.
No, okay,
I've got egg on my face. I've got to send proof.
Here's what happened, right? I organised to play online with somebody that I haven't seen for a very long time, right?
Right.
And
do I know them?
Eh?
Do I know them?
No, you don't.
Okay.
So I've played with them for like a really, really long time. Like I'm talking like 10, 15 years or so, right? And so we organised, I said, okay, Tuesday. We can do it Tuesday.
Okay.
But they live in New Zealand. And so it's Tuesday now, and they thought I meant right now. And so I can't do that now.
I mean, really if they didn't know that you're doing the show now, what sort of friend are they?
Exactly.
Well, I just sent a picture saying I'm doing a podcast. And then I sent a picture of it.
And why did that take you 10 minutes? And
it didn't. It took literally a couple of minutes to sort that out, and now it's done.
Send a photo of a
You're having a great time. You're having a great time talking about Nintendo Directs and stuff.
True.
It's fine.
James, did you just say, 10 o'clock Tuesday, 10 o'clock Monday? You didn't think, hang on, different country. It's just 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock everywhere, isn't it? So 10 o'clock Monday, go.
No, because do you remember when daylight saving stuff happened here? When British summertime kicked in over here, and he went, "Oh no, now we're going to be 2 hours apart."
I didn't say that. No, I didn't say it would be 2 hours apart. I said it will be later for me.
Also
James,
untrue.
Right, okay,
you can go back and listen to it, though, because that is exactly what I said.
Yeah, you said the time difference would be even more, and I said, "What the time?"
No, I didn't mean as in there's a gap that's bigger. I just meant that it's later in the evening.
That's what you said. Go on.
Anyway,
it wouldn't be later in the evening because we both moved
just
at the same
shut
time.
up. Just shut. I don't want to get into this now. Okay, just shut up. I've dealt with this. It's fine. Can I move on to the next story now? In fact, I'm not even asking. I'm going to do it. There's a first teaser trailer for Amy Hennig's new game. It's the Captain America and Black Panther thing.
Amazing.
And so
watch this.
It doesn't have a title, but it's going to be a narrative-driven blockbuster adventure game.
Good.
And from the trailer, it looks like it's set in World War II.
Okay.
And it's got like Cap and Black Panther fighting Hydra. It looks like so. And it's going to be single player.
It's one of those, isn't it? A teaser's never going to give us anything, but yeah, whatever Amy Henning's working on, I'm fundamentally interested in, so fine.
Exactly. Also, that's all we need to see.
I'm a little bit disappointed to hear it's set during World War II, though.
Really?
Why? Because they haven't got smartphones?
None of your TikTok?
No, because I think the idea of Black Panther, and sorry, I should have only have just seen For the Dark World in your world, but in my world, Captain America, Black Panther, I think they've got some really interesting issues to work through between the two of them
in modern day,
and I think that's more interesting in modern day than it is during World War II. I think I'd be a little bit disappointed if it was those two characters fighting bad guys.
Yes,
it'd be a little bit more interesting if there was some conflict between the two of them and what they stand for.
Well, maybe there will be. We don't know.
I was going to say we don't know anything about it. One would assume there is conflict.
But I think it's more interesting to discuss those issues in modern day, to be honest with you.
Sorry, because I'm looking at the picture, and apparently the tagline is 4 heroes, 2 worlds, 1 war.
Yes.
And of the 4 people we can see, man on the left is just man with gun?
Well, that's the thing, because it says, also in the trailer, it says soldier, captain, what was it? And then like spy and that kind of thing. So it's like, I don't know what it's going to be.
So each of them are from their own army, aren't they? That's the point. Yeah. So you've got a soldier from a Wakandan soldier and an American soldier. That's that's what they're going for there. So 4-player stuff, or is it a single player?
No,
game?
It's single player only, because they were talking about whether this would be like cooperative or anything, and she was like, no, it's single player.
Okay, cool. I'm interested. I'm very interested.
Have you seen the update at the bottom, James? Which is a conversation with IGN shared after last night reveal. Hennig clarified that while there is a cooperative element narratively, gameplay mechanics wise, no,
it's single player. Yeah.
What does that mean?
So it'd just be like that. You can switch between different characters.
I see. Right.
Yeah. So that
I just
makes,
thought it's like what game where the 2 people make the story decisions, then 1 person does all the fighting.
Okay, yeah, this looks like one to look out for. Did they give some indication as to when we might see more? Or
no, there's no other details. Just a trailer. Okay, next story is. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago?
Do you remember?
I like doing
Cast
this.
your mind
Why did you do that? I love it.
To the past.
What is it, Dennis? Who was the guy that did who was the guy that did It'll Be Alright on a Night?
Dennis
Norden. Norden. Yeah, I like the fact that you used to always Norden does it. If you like the fact that you always used to start with, if you're one of those people. Go on, James.
So
do you remember?
A couple of weeks ago, we talked about Alex Neil, who was doing a thing to try and bring a lawsuit against Sony.
That's right.
For this, for the 30% cut.
Oh dear,
on the
sorry,
store.
Matt. Is he going to try and get you here? I think he might get you here.
Is he?
Oh, no,
you had an argument with Matt about it, if you remember correctly.
Did I? I don't remember this.
Yeah, that's why it's funny that it's been brought up.
Yeah, go on.
What was the argument?
Yeah, the argument was that you were saying it was a cynical lawsuit to try and get
publicise the website, or something.
to try and get publicity.
Yeah.
And Matt said no, they must know something that would. So what's this? What's this new story? Then?
I don't know if he's going to get me then from reading this story.
No, you're going to get him.
Yeah, because
James doesn't even know when he's getting or getting got.
Have you arranged another gaming session with someone in a completely different time zone?
I'm playing right now, Dave.
God.
I mean, they want to play right now.
Yeah. So what happened was Alex Neil did a Reddit AMA on the whole anti-competition lawsuit against Sony. And I mean, Eurogamer report that the responses that she gave were very vague, particularly over what firm was providing like the funding for the litigation, like where that was going to come from. And also a lot of people obviously asked the questions we did about, why only Sony, why not Valve, Microsoft, Nintendo, Google, etc. And then the most upvoted comment of all of them was by this guy called Cosmos7, who says, "You're a company that makes money off complaints, starting a suit funded by a litigation venture capitalist firm, trying to claim that an industry standard percentage is unfair. Your backer also actively campaigns against class members getting the majority of suit returns. This is a money-making venture for both you and your backer. Don't pretend that this is anything else. I can only assume you guys are hoping a win here will set a precedent to go after the bigger boys like Apple and Google. And then basically all of the other comments that were made by Alex Neil were really heavily downvoted, and this was intended, obviously, to be like a PR thing, and it ended up being
but why did they do a fucking Reddit?
Well, no, because she probably thought we can, get loads of gamers on our side. This will build up. The people will be really interested in it, but then people were just asking lots of awkward questions that they didn't really have answers for.
Because all this stuff was coming up the moment they announced this.
Yeah.
Thing. All you got to do is a bit of research to see what sort of response you get on bloody Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
It's hardly a surprise, is it?
Well, it shouldn't be, but I think it must have been a surprise to them because otherwise they wouldn't have done it. Because it's a bit odd.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be hearing much more about this now.
No, that's probably it now.
Really? You think that's going to be it?
Yeah. What do you think?
So, Matt, are you sticking by your argument of a couple of weeks ago?
100%.
Okay,
good. You got to respect that.
No, I believe in Alex Neil, and I think they're going to do great stuff and help all gamers. And I'm looking forward to my £562 check in the next few months.
I think we all are. James has to give his to charity. Right, okay.
And final story is that Splatoon 3 has smashed Switch launch records in Japan. It's the biggest launch of a game in Japan ever. Like, it's sold 3.45 million copies in the first 3 days. I mean, that's 600,000 more than Animal Crossing, and it's just huge. Like, it's really big.
Did they have Titanfall? Did Titanfall 2 launch out there though? Have you checked that? Have you checked the figures for that?
50 copies, it says here.
Yeah.
Really? It's better than a full.
Surprising, yeah.
Yeah. So, should we get on to what you've been playing?
Yeah,
that'd be neat, wouldn't it?
Splatoon 3 then. That come out.
It did.
And I was a little bit worried because I was I ordered it, and then I got a message on Friday saying, "Yeah, you're not getting it today." I was all smug about where I was getting it from, and that I was getting a physical copy. I was on the night before with my mate saying, "I'll always go physical on that stuff because when it arrives, and you can sell it on." It's it's £10 cheaper than a digital or whatever, and then I got a message saying it's not coming. But thankfully, they said Monday originally, but thankfully I got an email on Saturday saying we're actually delivering it today. And then Saturday morning, Splatoon 2 come through the door, and sorry,
Splatoon 3.
Oh, sorry, it's just they're very similar games, and I get them mixed up all the time. I mean, it's the same game we've got again, isn't it? Don't get me wrong, right? Okay, look, we'll talk about Splatoon 3 and we'll go into further detail, but my overall view is, don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely delighted I'm playing Splatoon again because Splatoon is an absolutely fabulous game. It's really, really, really good fun. And I'm quite happy to have paid £40 for everyone, for friends to be back into it and to play it on the reg again. But I am absolutely blown away by how similar this is to the game that I played about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Was it 4 or 5 years ago?
I can't remember. Yeah, it must be. Yeah,
it came out just after launch, didn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah, it's quite early on. Maybe it was 5 years ago.
I thought it was a couple of months after the Switch came out. It was the release.
Yeah, I think it was. And especially it's even more damning because Splatoon 2 also wasn't a massive leap from 1, but it kind of had that excuse of but no one had a Wii U, so this is the Switch version, and it's So with the sort of implied but Splatoon 3 is going to be amazing, and it is, but not. It's not head and shoulders above 2, is it? There's tons of quality of life.
There is tons of quality of life, and I think the one thing I appreciate the most about what they've added to this game over the last one is the experience of booting it up in suspended play.
Yes,
because oh my god, that was so. What used to happen to Splatoon 2? What happens? How often do the maps rotate? Because they have set maps and then they rotate. You get it's 2 maps usually. Is it every 2 hours?
Yeah, I think it's about every 2 hours.
Yeah.
So if you were to boot up the game from suspended mode in Splatoon 2. It would then kick you out to the main menu and you'd be treated to a long discussion with the 2 squid DJs and you'd repeatedly hammer the button to get through it. But now...
Which didn't even work that well, was it? It wasn't like you could just go ba 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 and mash your way through it. Like, it was a set timing. And all it was doing was, it's telling you what the current stages are. Yeah. but literally once you've played the game for a couple of weeks, it's the same dialogue over and over
you didn't really care
every
either.
time.
So, but now
and
now
and
comes
they're great
up.
characters, and like the writing's good,
Right? Okay.
but nothing could withstand constant exposure.
Let's talk about the writing then and the writing.
Okay.
I can't stand it, Sean. I
Really?
I don't know what it is about, and I can't put my thumb on it. And I'd love to know how you guys react to that. But I just there's too much of it, and it's all got that sort of style that makes me just. This Nintendo are usually really good, and the people that localize the dialogue in Nintendo games are usually really good. You look at something like the Mario, the Paper Mario games. You know, the dialogue is funny. You want to read everything. You get a sense of everything. With Splatoon, I found it with the last one, and the same with this. Like, even in multiplayer mode, single player mode, or whatever, I'm just like, fucking don't like the way you talk. I don't like what you're saying. It feels like you've got a very simple thing to say that takes you 3 blocks of dialogue to say it, and that eventually makes me go, it's not as bad as Neon White. Don't get me wrong, but
man, that game.
I know, but I get the similar feeling of like, I don't want to read any of this. Like, it's getting on my fucking nerves now. Hey, what's up, squiddy people? And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I have no problems with the speech, but I know what you mean in that, like, yeah, like even in like the campaign, like there'll be one block of text saying like, oh, you need to like do this to clear away this pink stuff.
Yeah.
And then there'll be like another 2 or 3 boxes of text.
Don't say anything.
And you're just like, yeah, all right. Okay.
See, and this is what's really crazy, isn't it? Because Nintendo games in the past were always really good about sort of just throwing you into stuff, and then you kind of intuitively figured out how to do things without being told what to do, you know, like all the time. No, think about things like, I mean, like Zelda, you know, like Mario, all those kind of games, they don't really give you a lot, you know, when you're starting, but they're so well designed that you kind of figure it out. You know, it's not too difficult. Whereas with this, there is a lot of text. Like, there's always a lot of text, like to try and explain stuff.
There is, and if you skip the wrong bit of it,
you're
not going to know where things are.
Yeah, for sure.
And again, I feel like I'm going to have to keep saying, like, I do love it.
Yeah, same here.
We'll get to the positive stuff. We will get to the positive stuff.
I fully agree with the writing. I'm totally with you. It's something I feel like I should love, but too much of it. Not interested. It feels not sharp enough for me. I don't know. Just I have no interest in it whatsoever. Which everything you said is totally correct. Feels totally unlike what Nintendo do so well with these kinds of games.
Few other tiny complaints. Can we make it illegal for a game to flick between 60 and 30 frames? Now, I know it's in only one area.
It's bad though.
But the 30 frames in that town fucking do my nutting. It did in the last game, and it does here as well. I thought it was because of the size of it, Sean, but the first big area you get to in the single player game, you're like, this is roughly the same size as the town, if not bigger. All right, it's not as dense with as much going on. But don't make it as dense thing, because this is jarring as fuck.
See, that's the thing, because I was complaining about it when I was playing Elden Ring. Like, I was complaining about it because I thought it was worse than 30 frames, because it's just it is so jarring. Like, going from 60 to then that, and you're like, this feels like 20 or something like that. It's crazy.
It makes me not want to walk around the town. I just hit the button now to go to the menu, and
which is a shame, because you should want to walk around.
Yeah,
the place,
absolutely,
right?
and I probably will during Splatfest, but just the town as normal as it. It's not that good. And the final thing for me is that obviously not the game's fault at all, but there's been lots of like communication errors and getting kicked out and stuff like that, which gets a little bit frustrating. And you get the usual the fact that we're using Discord and stuff because everything's still a bit of a ball ache. It took us a while to work out how to get into games with each other, but eventually. Like, we had one game, wasn't it, James, where we were playing together and then it just kicked us out into separate lobbies again for no reason, and we were like, okay, we've got to go and set that all up again, which wasn't too bad. Once you know how it works, it's actually fine. And the fact that you can team up early doors, and because if you remember in the last game, if you're in the same group, sometimes it just put you in separate teams, like for no reason whatsoever. It doesn't seem to do that anymore, which is great.
And wasn't it? So with Splatoon 2, it's like, you can party up with your mates, but you need to be a 2 or a 4. Or else you can fucking forget it. Whereas now it's like, just party up with whoever, and we'll figure it out. Which again, we were saying this last night when we were playing a bit of it. It's ridiculous that I'm like, there's loads of quality of life improvements. It's like, yes, that bring it up to speed with Halo 3.
Yeah,
right?
That's it. Yeah. James said
But
this is like
welcome.
Xbox. This is like original Xbox Live, sort of era, which I think is a little bit of an over exaggeration, but you get the point. It falls behind current era or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
That
massively.
being said,
Also, sorry, one more complaint. So when you resume from suspended play or whatever, and so you're in the town and you're like, oh, I'm going to check out what's in the shops, and then you go in the shop and they go, you're not online, mate. You've got to go to the lobby first.
Really?
Why? Yeah.
Oh, I've never done that.
Oh, I've always
fucking
loads,
stupid.
Yeah,
it's like, you offline. It's like, I'm offline? I don't remember being told I'm offline, but go back to the lobby.
Exactly, you just
connect, come back,
Oh man, that's proper Nintendo,
really
that, isn't it?
It is, because it's just just put me online now. Why do I have to go somewhere else? It's ridiculous.
I've got one more complaint as well. One more complaint.
Okay,
we were talking about this last night, Jays. You gotta love Nintendo and how out of touch they are with stuff, because there's loads of cosmetic stuff in this game, and they've introduced not faceplates, like banners, and you can put badges on the banners and all, and then you've got nicknames where you piece together, which they've done in games a lot recently, where you piece together two separate words to make a unique nickname or whatever. The way you unlock that stuff is via that what's they call it, gacha machine?
Gumball machine.
Next to the lobby, like in the lobby or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I play a lot of Rocket League, right? And the way this works in other games is that they chuck you shed loads of stuff. You get after every game, you've probably unlocked something that you can do to customize your character, customize your banners, do all of that sort of stuff. The idea is that customization needs to be massive, and it needs to throw stuff at you. And then if you want to monetize it, put really special stuff behind, and ask people to pay for it. It's understandable. I think that's kind of an accepted practice now. What Splatoon does is put them in that machine and charge you a ridiculous amount of in-game currency to unlock them.
The first one each day is like 5,000.
It's still 5,000 coins.
But then, and then after that, it's 30,000.
Ridiculous.
Which is absolutely appalling.
And you get two things. That's it.
And you might not even get that. You might just get an ability chunk.
Of which
you need
I did it the other
10.
day, and they went, here's a drink for your boot, your XP boost thing.
Maybe this is like a kind of you don't want your loot crates or that thing. What do you think of this? What do you think of this?
I'll tell you what I think of this. It's not very good. So that stuff sucks.
Plus, I don't know if any of your kids have been on this, but Isaac thinks the gumball machine's fucking great, and he wants me to go on it all the time. And I'm like, Isaac, I can literally afford one go at this, and then I've got no more money for anything else.
No. See, it's Charlie's been playing on his profile, which is interesting because he hasn't got access to the internet, so it's very limited. It won't even let you go in the lobby, which I think is harsh because he likes shooting stuff in the lobby, he loves that stuff. But you can't.
Well, you can do recon on any of the stages.
No, but can you do that offline?
I think so. So this is another thing the game doesn't really tell you. There's someone in the plaza, the main plaza bit, and you go and talk to them, and you can basically, so you can just go and just hang out in any of the stages and have a look around.
That's amazing.
That's basically how Isaac
that's
plays
like
it.
we were talking about last night, is that in terms of, what can a Splatoon 3 offer, really? Because, usually when an established first-person or third-person shooter comes out, the big thing is the maps, right? But to be honest, it's not much to the maps, is there, in these games?
I don't know.
Right?
They vary.
They vary.
A lot of them are fine. Some of them are really interesting. That one we were playing last night, where there's that central bit that's rotating and stuff. So that sort of changes the routes through. That's really good.
That's fine, but they're not massively different compared to when you look at some of the maps and the effort that goes into some of the maps and more, but other first-person shooters or whatever, you could go, shit, this is that map, this is that, and then this one is just like a long map with a thingy.
The thing is about that is that because these are 3-minute matches, does that matter quite so much? That there's not so much map variety?
No. I think the 3-minute match stuff we need to talk about, because I think it is really important. But that's all just standard Splatoon stuff. Did they ever do 4 teams?
No, this one adds. So there's now a 3-team mode during Splatfest. But that's
right.
new.
Okay, I would like to see one where it's 4 teams of 2 or something. Mix it up a little bit like that. But anyway, right. So it's kind of the negativity out of the way, I think.
I don't know. I think there's lots we could pick up, but I don't really want to because I've really enjoyed what I've played. But I mean, just
go on. What else? I think that's about it.
Going to the plaza. I'm like, okay. Well, where's this? Where's the Salmon Run bit? Oh, it's there. You go left there. It's like, there's not obvious really. You just go to the menu, obviously, and do it that way. But to actually explore the plaza.
Only a problem one.
And yesterday I was like, okay,
once you find your way around, it's fine, right?
Yeah. Yesterday I was like, okay, I've earned loads of stuff from playing single player mode. I'll go into a store or somewhere to change, but no, you just go into the menu. You don't go. I thought, okay, I'll go to like the shoe.
Oh, that's right.
The shoe shop or the head. Attire shop, whatever. But no, even though the woman or the person there said, "Oh, you got loads of stuff. You already own it, so this stuff is cheaper to buy." I'm like, "Oh, if I own it, can I go to my locker now and in the store and change?" But no, you got to go out and go into a menu. Yeah, again, it just feels.
You have to go to the lobby, don't you? And there's like a terminal there where it gives you all your stuff. Which again, once you've learned that once, fine. But initially you're like, "Well, it says I've earned all this stuff. Where the fuck is it?"
Yeah,
and the locker as well. So they've added this thing where you have a locker. And you can decorate it, which sounds like nothing. I actually quite like it.
What's the locker? What do you mean?
You have this like physical locker, and there's like that, so you can hang up like your outfits and your guns, and like put stickers and posters up on it and stuff.
That.
But what's cool is whenever you're in the lobby, so you go into the little locker room, which again I didn't know it was there. It was just there's a door, and it turns out you can go through it.
I didn't know
this.
I had to
next
Google
to the
that.
lift. But you wouldn't know.
And basically, and then it's like, and you're looking at all the lockers, and you'll see that some of them are like different colours and they're bigger and stuff, and it's like, oh shit, that's like a high level player who's customised the fuck out of theirs. So you like run over and have a nosy at their locker and see all the weird shit in it. That's quite good. I mean, it's nothing, right? Gameplay wise, it's absolutely nothing. It's just quite a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I like that.
But again, it was another thing where it's like, it keeps telling me I've got this locker. Where the fuck is it?
Right, I need to find out. Yeah, but as you say, it's a problem one.
Because I couldn't find it either.
One more thing. This is not a problem with the game, right? But if you, like me, had heard reviewers say, "Oh god, the single player is pretty much worth the admission price alone,"
yeah,
it's not. It's not. I thought this was going to be like a massive change to the single player that we had in Splatoon 2, and I don't think it really is. It sort of hints at it initially, and then you're back to. It's so weird, isn't it? I thought it was gotcha, because you start off, and I'm like, this is exactly like the single player in Splatoon, and then it goes, the title card comes up, Splatoon 3, and then you're in this huge area, and I'm thinking, whoa, this is different. That was a piss take back there, and now we're starting the real game. And then you enter the first level and go, oh no, we're back. Oh,
no, it's the same.
See, the thing about that I found weird, because I'm on the fourth island at the moment, and I've been 100%ing each one's before, so I've seen all of the levels that have come like before that. And one of the things that I kept reading reviews was people saying like it's so like creative, and it's like Mario level of like creativity and of like new things you can do and all that and ideas. And I'm just thinking, it doesn't feel like that, though, really. It doesn't feel...
I think
it's
it
good.
does to a very small extent. Where with each, like, obviously you go into each, like, the islands, and there's 6 of them, and something to do after that. But in each of them, there's, like, between, I don't know, 7 and 12 of these sewers you can go in to do different types of things. And I've found some really creative ones. I mean, there's one here which basically kind of reverse power wash simulator. In fact, there's 2 different instances which like reverse. One, basically, you got like spray an entire monument, obviously, as opposed to cleaning it in Power Wash Simulator. I did this other one which is really good, which I could literally play a whole game of, where you see a structure built of always like wooden blocks, and a structure built out of like metal blocks, whatever, a massive mound of wooden blocks, and you've got to recreate the shape to the left of you. And I was like, that cool. Kind of also feels power washy, and I could play a whole game just for that, where you like, okay, got to shoot that one to mimic like the shape on my left hand side. So there is lots of creativity in there. I mean, I wouldn't say Mario-esque, but there is a decent amount of creativity, I think. I mean, I finished a single player campaign, and now I've got the last 13 to do. Like I'm on, I think like 4th or 5th now, just clearing up the last 13, which unlocks in an end game stuff. But I've really enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't play Splatoon 2 single player at all. I just played multiplayer. So I don't know how similar it was, but I've enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, it's not obviously nothing like a Mario or as good as Kirby, but I've enjoyed it. I mean, it's been incredibly frustrating at points. I think there's some...
See, that's the thing.
It doesn't sound like you did enjoy it, man.
See, that's the thing, because I mean, I'm enjoying it as well, despite what I've just said. You know, I'm enjoying playing it. It's pretty good, but it is also, I mean, it's really, really difficult in places. I mean, I've been playing Elden Ring, and this is like more difficult than anything I've done in Elden Ring so far.
There was some difficulty in the Splatoon 2 one as well. Towards the end, it did get quite tough.
Yeah, and the Octo expansion was a fucking nightmare as well.
Yeah.
But I was playing it until 3:30 on Saturday night. Sunday morning, because there's one level where you're in like the mist and you got the swords, and I was like, okay, I don't want to like restart. This weapon is terrible. There's so many sections where you like go up over ladder and you can't see what the enemies up there are doing, and they just like smash you in 1 second, and you got to redo it from a checkpoint. Oh, so frustrating. I still got that one to do. So there's some other bits with like the ones on rails are kind of tricky. I mean, I've gotten them all done up to now, so not too tricky, but it's not something I'm doing on my first go. And then like the end boss, it's like I was playing with Elodie, we're taking turns, and then suddenly I was like, no, this is ridiculous how hard it is, or how much harder it was compared to where we came before. But I've heard unlock stuff in post game and people saying it's another level of ridiculousness. So I'll get to that.
I really like what I have played of the campaign, so I've only just made it to the second island. I like the fact that each level is a little exploration of a single mechanic or technique or whatever. Like I find that interesting. It does sometimes feel like sometimes, like Matt, you were saying, like, oh, I could play a whole game of this. Like there are some mechanics where it's like, this could do with more time to breathe. Like the fact that it's like, oh, this is cool. Oh, and the level's over apparently. Like there's a bit of that, but also like they've continued to do this thing with Splatoon campaigns where each level in the campaign is like, it's not a place, is it? It's just some stuff floating in a void.
Yeah,
that feels like it could have been put together in like a user created content creation kit, like it's
it's not super coherent, is it? Like in design, it's just
no, which is not what they're going for, which is fine. But given that we're Splatoon 3 now, I would actually love like a short but dense like with set pieces where you're actually going through like the world. Like I love the world building in Splatoon, like I always have. I love like these, like the spaces that they create. Like even the multiplayer maps, if you stop for a second and actually look around, it's like, oh yeah, this is like a stage at a gig or something or whatever. Like they're just all these like really cool spaces, and like the obviously the cities, the hubs and stuff as well are all brilliant. So it then seems such a shame for this, like, oh yes, for the single player campaign, but they're just fucking blocks in
it
space.
does do something like that. Sean, towards the end, it does do something like that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it kind of made me think, I wish there was more of this, but we'll discuss it maybe once you finish it. But yeah, I mean, you go into each levels, and like most of them, like it has like, like I said, 7 to 12 of these sewers, but most of them are covered at the beginning with like this goo, and you'll go around and like the more levels you complete, you get currency to then clear the glue to see more. And I thought that was quite a compelling little loop. Okay, well I want to get over there, I'll need like another 1,000 of these, whatever the currency is.
Eggs.
I'll do this kind of level here. That gets me enough to unlock that part of the map. So there's that kind of like stuff to do just within the environment you go in. It's not very, it's not exhaustive, but it's enough to make me play it. And I saw credits. Now it's doing enough to make me want to 100% it, and then
I was going to say, obviously you've enjoyed it enough that like you've not touched much of the multiplayer, which is the point for most people.
Last night we played, and I said I played one game when I first got it. Just before I played one game, and after that I've just been doing single player all weekend. So when we played last night, I was like, I'm not even level 4 to play Salmon Run. So no, I thought, okay, I just wanted to play single player, see what it's like, and it has given me really good experience of all the weapons and the kind of how you play the game and the various kind of abilities. So I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's by no means perfect, and it's incredibly frustrating at kind of difficulty, really. But no, I've enjoyed it. Again,
let's get to the multiplayer then.
Yes,
because fucking hell, it's good to play Splatoon again, isn't it?
It's so good.
It's really good.
It's so much fun.
Insanely addictive. Really, just constantly entertaining. There are moments where it's like I see Splatoon. It reminds me. a little bit like Overwatch, where it feels like a tug of war rather than a. I don't know what it is.
Like
There's something about it where you can feel like your team are pushing and when your team are retreating. And there are times where you're going, bloody hell, these are aggressive. We're getting penned in here. What the fuck are we going to do?
Well, it's because of the ink, right? It's because that's like obviously that's
a visual representation of it.
Exactly, yeah. Like that stuff is in any sort of team-based shooter. You sort of read the battlefield sort of intuitively by seeing where you are, where the enemy is, and you get a sense of where the front is. But yeah, with Splatoon, it's explicit. It's literally there in front of you. Yeah. And the fact that, like, not only that, but, the colour of the terrain affects gameplay as well. It affects where you can move, how quickly you can move, and sort of suggests... obviously where an enemy player has been because they'll be inking territory as they go, and it adds that sort of readability of the flow of the battle is still fascinating,
and the variety of weapons that you come up against. I mean, I've stuck with my weapon for a while now, and I'll look once I've unlocked a few more levels. I'll look at what's on offer and if I can make some sort of combination. But I've found a weapon that I like and a special, and it's combined with a special that I like. And my word, just when you feel at times that you're completely defenseless against certain weapons, but then completely overpowering other weapons. Like, it really does feel incredibly balanced in that way. And when you come across like a crab tank, which is always one of my favourites to see, and you just think, I know how to deal with you. Like, I can deal with you quite easily. But then you'll come across like other ones and you're just like, I don't know how I'm even supposed to deal with this paint bucket. This paint bucket is doing my nutting. Or snipers for... And I said, we're trying to move away from the negativity, but that is one thing that does wind me up. Sometimes when you go into a game, you do want to have a look at what your teammates are bringing to the table. Because I've had a game once where we have 3 snipers on our team and me. And I was like, yeah, but you're all just sitting at the back trying to pick them off. We need some people to cover some area here. So I wish there was a way of like changing your gear just before the game starts or whatever. But there's not. And whatever, I kind of got over that. I think it changes once you start playing with your mates or whatever. You can make those decisions. So.
But you get such brilliant highs with this as well. Like, I find, like last night, we played it last night, and we had that great game where like we were completely penned in for like most of the game.
That was amazing, yeah.
And it was like really like we were like right back at our base, and then we were like, okay, let's just do this, and then we just pushed right through, and then like right up to the end, and then it was. Yeah, then the score comes up and it's like,
it was like one of the biggest comebacks I've ever played in a video game, where we spent the majority of it on the back foot, and then we sort of broke through their line, didn't we? It got into their base and completely decimated it. Just with about 10 seconds to go.
Because I think like a couple of us were basically like holding them at their spawn, weren't they?
That's
and then the others were just like mopping up our
and we've had situations where we've been hammered by a team so much that all 4 of them were just waiting by our base and taking us out as we were being spawned. But one of us managed to get through without being noticed. And by the time it had finished, it was too late because everything behind them had been completely covered in our colour.
And it was so good because they were so aggressive, like in the beginning as well. And then it was just, like obviously in their play style,
actually
and
not,
it was just like
not helpful. And the theatrics of the results screen is still brilliant. Because if you're playing the basic turf war mode, it's all just about who's inked the most territory. Which team has inked the most territory, and it's like, and it comes up with the results, and sometimes it's obvious. It's like, oh fuck, no, we definitely lost this, or whatever. But then sometimes it's like, oh shit, that's quite even actually. Fuck, I think we got a bit more than that. And there's that sort of 1 or 2 second delay before it then goes bang. This is the result, and it's like, fucking yes.
And it makes it makes you feel like you've contributed in terms of giving you the accolades and medals and stuff at the end of each game.
Yeah, that's right, because they're new, aren't they? Yeah, so even if you feel like you've had a shiter, it'll be like, well, actually, you inked the most territory for your team, so good job. Or stuff like that goes along way, I think.
I wish that you could. Can you like pick your stances and stuff like that, like your celebration animations?
Yes,
and stuff?
You have to unlock them. I need to... So far, I've only unlocked 1.
Wait, how do you unlock it? See, this is it. Let me unlock them constantly. Let me have fun with that and switch between it, because that's what all other games do. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the whole point.
I will say I unlocked a ton of stuff playing and finishing single player. Like I didn't realize at the time. I mean, you find like the pack of cards and you find this, that, and the other. But when I got into lobby, I was like, well, where's all my stuff? And it's only because you, James, said, oh, you go to that machine, and then suddenly it was like menu upon menu upon menu, unlock, unlock. And I like, I've like coated my locker with stuff on the outside. I've got so much stuff. I can barely fit anything on the inside of the locker. I've got loads of them cards, which I'm not 100% sure what they've done. But yeah, I unlocked a ton of
the
stuff.
Card game, mate.
Yeah,
there's a card game.
So you go. I know there is one, but do you go to a certain place to play that?
Yeah, there's an area behind the stadium.
James is now a card game fan.
Yeah, I'm well up for that.
And playing that, what does that unlock?
Do you know? I'm not sure in terms of the rest of the game. Like I've played a bit of it. I can't remember what I mean. You have like a separate level for the card stuff. Does it unlock stuff for the rest of the game, James? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I know that what's called Salmon Run does. Like
Salmon Run does, yeah. Salmon Run doesn't contribute to your level, but it does contribute to your catalog level, which is a thing they've added, which is essentially
what is that?
So that's your battle pass style thing, where basically no matter what you do, it will add to that, and that will unlock extra stuff.
Oh, okay, that wasn't clear, but okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So we
how do you unlock? So my catalog level goes up. What does that unlock? Like
literally like a battle pass. For every level you hit, it'd be like, here's a t-shirt or
I've not seen any of that. So I'm on like catalog level 7 or 8 or whatever. But where do I go? I go to that terminal, do I?
You go to it's one of the shops.
No, the shop.
You go to for that.
Okay, which shop?
What's it called? Hotlantis.
Hotlantis. Okay, I've probably got loads of shit waiting for me then.
If you go on if you press X to bring the menu up, it'll have an exclamation mark on it to show that you've got stuff to unlock.
Okay, yeah, I'll have a look at that. Yeah, because that's what I mean. What I've been doing. What's really good about this game is that when it's working and I'm not getting kicked out of games, the process of getting in and out of games is not seamless because there is a bit of a delay, but it is fast enough. And the fact that the games are only 3 minutes long or whatever it is, you are kind of like, it doesn't really matter if you're losing because you're only a couple of minutes away from starting a new game, So there's that. And that sort of adds to the addictive nature of just going, I'll just do one more. I'll just do one more. I'll just do one more. And then all of a sudden, you're deep within it. As I said, man, I really love playing Splatoon, and I think what we've covered here is that there are a lot of frustrations with it. It doesn't stop me recommending it because I think it's brilliant. Like my friend Chris, he's sort of ifing and butting about buying it, and I'm like, just get it because you like online shooters, right? And you'll love how different this is, and it's just non-stop. You just be playing it non-stop, like it's just a rolling conveyor belt of just really good gaming. And okay, I've had to pay £40 for a game that feels like it's barely progressed. It might as well be called Splatoon Legacy Edition, but ultimately. I don't care if I've got to pay that £40 to go through that. I mean, it was a while ago since I played Splatoon. It's not like a yearly game that comes out that's taking the total piss. So I'm happy to play it again. One question.
I think the thing to remember is as well, I've also been a bit frustrated by going to the shops and I'm seeing t-shirts and hats and stuff that were in Splatoon 1, never mind Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
But they've already said there's fucking 2 years worth of free stuff planned for this, right?
I know,
which is not brilliant. There should be lots of new shit in it from day one. But I'm remembering actually there'll be a hell of a long tail on this, especially the Splatfests and stuff. They're always really good fun. So it's sorry, James, go on.
Have any of you had a look at the? Okay, I hate to say this, but have anybody had a look at the Nintendo app for this?
I have.
Yes,
because there's a lot of stuff
regularly.
There's a lot of stuff
got
there.
Stuff in it, isn't it?
That you can do with it, which is surprising.
I get weirdly into because I do because I like making my character look cool anyway, but I also like sort of gaming the the whole sort of extra abilities stuff because you can go quite deep with that if you really want to. So yeah, every day I'm loading up the game and I'm like, oh yeah, and I will also check the app and see if there's any cool clothes to order that might be beneficial.
App, when that launched with Splatoon 2, right?
Yeah,
it did. Yeah,
and then you could order stuff on the app and then it would appear in the game. Does that happen again?
Yeah, that's still a thing.
That's
really
what
useful
because
it can get you, because when you first start out, most stuff you'll find in the shop has like 1 or 2 abilities, whereas on the app there'll be stuff with like slots for like an additional, total of 4 abilities, which is the maximum. So you're basically getting, quote, high level gear. Super useful.
You can review. You can view replays as well on here.
Can you view replays? Yeah. Oh shit! I didn't know that. I know you could like see the results of your matches, but I didn't realize there was replays. Holy shit!
Yeah, so you'd recommend Sean logging into the app every day to claim a what can you earn or can you not earn stuff?
I don't think you earn anything. It's just that there's like a rotating I think it's like every 8 hours or something. There'll be like a different selection of clothes you can order and then claim in the game.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
okay,
it's worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah, I've been so into the single player that I haven't really worked out what the kind of process and the kind of loop is for multiplayer. But even the few games I played last night were really good.
Can I ask you what the fuck happened last night? Can we address that?
Well, go on.
So I sort of put a thing out saying who wants to play Splatoon, and Matt, you were playing Splatoon, and then I was like, come on, man, let's play. And then you logged off, and I was like, oh well. This doesn't want to play with me.
Yeah, and I said I'll be on at 9:30. It was like half an hour after that, wasn't it?
You said, you'd be on... Well, yeah, but... Okay. And then you said, I'll be on at 9:30. You showed up at 9:45, right? Yeah. And then when I come back on at 10:15, I went, we play? And you went, no, we're going to bed now. I was like, what? You played for half an hour? We'd literally,
2 minutes before you rejoined us, we'd all said, I know, this is probably our last one, actually.
But after 30 minutes of playing, that's nuts. Did I upset you because of the Rocket League? Because I needed to play Rocket League. Was that it? Did I upset anyone?
Binned us for Rocket League. No, we'd completely unrelated. We'd ordered it. James isn't listening. He's looking at his phone again. But
I'm looking what I can get from the catalogue.
Stop then, James. Fucking hell. What's the matter with you?
I'm still listening to what you're saying.
No, I don't know if you are, mate.
Whatever. Wow. So James already said, anyway, it's fucking I better go. And I was like, yeah, it's shit, I'm, back to work tomorrow. And then Dave reappears and he's like, right, we play in. And we were like, nah, sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I'm like, I've got a Rocket League tournament to play in. 15 minutes later, we did not get far in that. So let's go back to a little bit of Splatoon.
But we haven't talked about Salmon Run.
Have you tried it yet?
Yeah, mate, it's my favourite mode.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it in the last one, for sure. It was just you just weren't able to play it much because of fucking Nintendo.
Splatoon 2, it was like, the Salmon Run is only open at certain hours, which I don't even get from like a world-building perspective, right? It doesn't make any sense. So I gather they eventually said, yeah, sorry, it's on all the time, but it was too little too late by that point. However, Splatoon 3, it's on all the time. There's like rotating shifts, so I think every shift in inverted commas is it's like 24 hours, I think, maybe less. And again, there's like a battle pass style track for each of those. Basically, Salmon Run is your wave-based competitive mode where you're on like an island and all these salmon are coming at you, and they're all. I mean, it's such a weird mode because it's very clearly like you're meant to find it just janky and weird as fuck.
Yeah,
like you're being hired by this company that's clearly dodgy, and it's like, yeah, we need these eggs, and it's like you just. You go into these scummy locations where these salmon converge, shooting them and taking their eggs.
You have to put them in a little basket.
It's really fucked up. And you can see the little baby salmon swimming around in the egg, and your employer's just like, yeah, that's an energy source. We need them. Get as many as you can. So what the fuck? Anyway, and basically all these salmon are running at you, but then every so often there'll be a boss salmon, or salmonid they call them, and they've added like a shitload more of those. I think there's like 15 different types.
There's absolutely tons. I did the tutorial last night. Like you do one part of it and there's like the second part here, do you want to look at all the bosses? I'm like, I'll have a look at was it 2 or 3, and there's like 2 rows of them. I was like,
there's fucking loads.
Probably not going to go for every one of these.
That's what gives it the texture, right? Because fighting waves of enemies is one thing, it's fine, it's just sort of pretty standard sort of crowd management. But it's when the bosses show up, and each of them has like a trick to defeating them. You can't just shoot them. So there's all the sort of the returning ones. There's like a big guy who like every so often like a bomb grows out of his head, and you have to like shoot that and blow that up before he can throw it at you. That's how you kill him.
Yeah.
There's one where he's in like a little tank, and you've got to like shoot him at the front to stun him, then get round behind and shoot him at the back, and then that's how you kill him. But yeah, so they've added shitloads of new ones. There's like one that's like a UFO floats around, and you have to like get under it to make it try and slam down and hit you, dodge away from it, and then when it's down, you can then jump on top of it and shoot the salmon on top of it.
Nice.
Stuff like that, which, you do the tutorial, and it's like, right, okay, I get that. And it's like, right, now do that. Well, there's like 3 different bosses and shitloads of other salmon coming at you. And it just gets hectic as fuck. And it can be really frustrating playing with randoms. It was interesting going back to like Splatoon 2 the other week, just because I was like excited about Splatoon 3 coming out. I was like, yeah, I'm going to play Splatoon 2 again. And it's like everyone who was still playing Splatoon 2 at that point was fucking amazing. So competitive multiplayer was miserable, but Salmon Run was amazing because everyone would just carry you through. Like, it didn't matter. Everyone was amazing at it. Whereas now playing Splatoon 3, it's like, oh yeah, playing with randoms is a mixed bag. It's because it does get quite hard. There's some weird, like sort of some of the rounds are completely different. It's like, here's like a special round where like there's one where like loads of enemies are like coming from the sky, and there's like this one ship that's trying to steal the tank with all the eggs in, and you have to occasionally get back and shoot that so it fucks off again. There's fucking loads to it, and it's really good. Like, I absolutely love it.
I'm excited to play my first game of it. I never played this in Splatoon 2, so I'm excited to see what the fuss is about.
You've never played? Yeah. You never played Salmon Run with us?
No.
It's
mate.
Yeah,
that wasn't there at launch, was it? I don't think.
Yeah, we played it.
I've never played it.
Yeah, we did play it. I'm sure you played it, Matt. I'm sure
you played it too.
Well, if I have, I don't remember it. But
it's great. I'm looking forward to getting back into that. But yeah, it seems like at the moment it's going to take me a while to get off of the normal game mode. And I wish there was more game modes. I wish there was blah 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 blah. There's
Well, hang on. There's loads of game modes. It's just that we've only played Turf War. You have to go into the Anarchy battles to get all the other game modes.
What do you mean the Anarchy battles?
Anarchy battles. That's where you get all the objective based stuff.
Right, so that's got because when in Splatoon 2 there was only 2 of those, wasn't there? There was the one where you get to hold the middle, isn't there? Like it's like a King of the Ring style one in Splatoon 2 where that would move about.
With the tower control, and the tower sort of moves around. I'm pretty sure that's in. There's quite a few game modes. It's just that the only thing is when you go to an Anarchy battle, and that's the objective based modes. They're like, you get rewards for winning, but if you lose, you get fuck all. Whereas if you just do a turf war, it's like win or lose, you always get something for showing up, right? So it does. If you do an Anarchy battle and then you are like losing consistently, it does start to sting because you're just like, well, this is a fucking waste of time, isn't it?
It's quite good that they're unlocked from the beginning if you import your Splatoon 2 save rather than have to wait until ranking up to 4 or whatever.
Yeah, normally have to rank up a bit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I imported my save or whatever, but I'd only played 34 hours of the last one. I was quite surprised at that because it comes up with how many hours you played it for. It was like 34 hours.
I played 90 odd of Splatoon 2, which I did not realise.
I played 14.
14, yeah. It's still quite a fair amount, isn't it? James, what did yours say?
Mine said 1 hour because I lost. I lost my original save game because I'd switched switches, and it's all it was one of those games that's tied to one switch and not the other. It's irritating.
Splatoon's really good, man, and especially like I think the thing is, if you didn't like Splatoon 2, you ain't gonna like this. It's as simple as that.
There's nothing to win.
There is nothing to improve the experience for you, and that in to the point where there are things that improve the experience for people that love Splatoon 2, right? Minor things, but there are improvements being made here. If you didn't like Splatoon 2, don't go anywhere near this game because it's not for you. If you've not played a Splatoon game, then absolutely give it a go, because if you like shooters, I can't see why you wouldn't like this.
I was going to say, because I think Splatoon has sort of shaken this off by now, but if by any chance you've looked at Splatoon and gone, oh, well, I like shooters, but this looks like it's for kids, it is family friendly, but the technicalities, the nuance of it is there, absolutely.
Yeah, the tactics around it is fantastic. It's real, it's real, some condensed multiplayer competitive shooting, as well as paint the fucking floor. It's got some really interesting ways to. Yeah, I mean, the amount of times I've popped down into ink, appeared behind someone and killed them is just it makes it totally worth it.
Speaking about it being for kids, when I was struggling against the final boss Jill was there in the lounge whilst Elder and I were playing it, and she's like, "Isn't this a game for kids?" I'm like, "What? Well, no, but this is difficult at the end. This is difficult."
Yeah, well, no kid could actually do this, Jill. Actually,
yeah, it's actually too difficult for children.
Yeah, it's actually the older you are, the harder it is.
Yeah.
A quick question: how long did you last with motion controls?
No, I was saying the other week that I had them on in Splatoon 2, but on the lowest setting. No, I've just turned them off for this one. I'm done.
I really struggle with it.
Yeah.
But I have found that Charlie, perfect for him, because using 2 sticks, is the hardest thing for a kid to get into when they first start gaming or whatever. Minecraft is perfect for that. Like, that's where Harry learnt to use dual sticks or whatever. Yeah. But Charlie, no chance. And I was like, use that stick, look up and down or whatever. And I went, do you know what? I'm going to try with the motion controls. So I stuck that on, and he's fine. He runs around, looking up, looking down, and so that's been really good for him. For me,
I would like to persevere
2 seconds. 2 seconds I had it on for. The moment the fucking tutorial ended, I was like, right, let's turn that off because I can't handle that at all. Sorry, Matt?
I would like to persevere with them because I had to play a bit with them the other night. So when I was struggling on that ninja one in the mist, where I was playing till 3:30 in the morning, I was like, 2 or 3 checkpoints in. I think I was in the last checkpoint, and I was playing handheld. The battery was dying, so I thought I'll dock it. But then it was in the default motion controls, and there was no options to change controls unless I exited out of the entire level. And I always spent hours trying to get to where I was, or maybe not hours, but a very long time trying to get where I was. I was like, am I really gonna? So then I tried to persevere with a Joy-Con in motion mode.
For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, motion controls is on by default, and what that does is your left stick, you move forward or backwards and strafe left and right. The right stick, you turn left or right, but to look up and down, you tip the controller either forward or back. So,
no, the motion controls do
do
left and right as well.
You can move left and right, but only a little way. It's not like you can move your whole arms
you would never
to
stop.
turn. You still need to use the stick to turn left or right, and that's what fucks my head up because I'm like, am I doing this? Should I be turning with that? And then, that's why I just got enough fuck this. I'll go straight back to...
Well, because one of the reasons I need to turn it off is, I don't know what it is about Splatoon, but when I'm in like a close quarters firefight with someone else, I'm like twitching.
I'm the same.
So you've got motion controls on. It's just, you just constantly
going all over the place.
Shooting everywhere.
Well, this is it, right? We will get messages saying, well, you do know that the pros use motion controls.
I don't care.
Yeah, I want to reply, well, I'm not a pro. I'm not anywhere near that level, so quite happy with not just playing it more comfortably for you, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Splatoon 3, man.
It's really fucking good.
It is awesome to have
it back. Fucking good.
And it's, it's like you say, Dave, it's like, people saying like, why have they done this as a new one? Could this not have just been, like, could they not have just made Splatoon 2 like the platform and added stuff to it?
And I'm played it.
Yeah. Like, it wouldn't have been the same sort of fanfare around it. And ultimately, if you took what is in Splatoon 3, and if it had been added to Splatoon 2 over the last few years and had eventually cost you a sum total of 40 quid, I'd still be happy with the amount of content there is in it.
Yeah.
So, I paid 50 quid because I got it from the official Nintendo store because I told Isaac he could have that backpack that came with it. But
that backpack?
Well, because he started school, hasn't he? So he needs a PE bag.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, mate, like, if I'm going to get Splatoon 3, like, here's the bag that comes with it. And he was fucking buzzing. So I was like, well, I have to get that now.
I've got a key ring with mine. It's fucking horrible.
Sorry, Matt, go on.
It's all right. It's okay.
What's up, Matt?
No, I said he wanted a Nike bag. But
I like the fact that you started that with I say it. Good. Definitely play Splatoon 3 if you haven't played a Splatoon game before, and I'm going to be hammering it over the next few weeks for sure.
Yeah, we may have started all this with loads of complaining, and there's so many more things we could probably add to that, but don't let that get in the way.
Isn't it? Standard Nintendo practice.
Yeah. The game is perfect. Just the infrastructure around it is still, and again, it is better. It's just that it's better in a way that games were doing 10, 15 years ago.
Sean.
Whatever. Hello.
Dotheth my eyes deceive thy? Do I see Death Stranding on the list next to your name?
Yeah. Played a bit of Death Stranding, lads.
Do you hate it? I've got a feeling you hate it.
Do you know what? So I've basically, I've played up to the point where it lets you off the leash a bit, and then I had to stop for the night. So,
just when it gets good.
Well, this is it. It's not even... No.
How long is that bit?
I mean, a couple of hours at least, right?
How many times have you seen a Hideo Kojima game like flashing up?
It's the thing. I think my experience of it is somewhat coloured by the fact that, like, I don't know what it is. I deal really badly with stories where they're in a world that's clearly operating on its own rules and there's weird shit going on, and the characters all basically understand everything, but you don't. And they're not really explaining it because they wouldn't, right? That's just how the world works. They wouldn't stand there going, "Oh yeah, this is why this is happening." Blah, blah, blah. So it makes sense, but I'm just like, why the fuck is any of this happening? And it's quite a miserable existence, right? That it's portraying.
Yeah, it's grim.
And I was just like, I don't know, it just stressed me the fuck out. And which I think, again, is because I've heard about people's experiences of, like, having played it, being like, oh, it's really nice. You just go for, it's about a game about going for a fucking walk. And it is beautiful, don't get me wrong. Like, the visuals are incredible. And, so I've been playing the PC version. It's finally arrived on Game Pass. It's beautifully optimized. Like, I'm playing it in 4K, 60 frames on, like, maybe not the highest settings, but nearly there. And my PC is not amazing by any stretch. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It was 2 to 3 hours of me just going, what the fuck is happening? And to sort of alleviate that afterwards, I was like, right, I'm going to look up a couple of things just about the way the world works. I'm not going to look up for, like, character details and stuff. Like the BTs, right? It's fucking BTs. And it's never, it's like, it's not immediately clear, like, what they do or what they are. And you look it up, it's like, oh, they're ghosts. Right. They're ghosts. It's fine. I know there's a bit more to it, but fundamentally, I was like, right, okay, fine. That's all I needed to know.
But you don't want to wait for the story to explain or you to learn that. They could have said that
because they're bloody BTs, like, fucking ghosts they are.
They're just ghosts. So yeah, I am keen to go back, but yeah, I just, like, by the end of it, I was like, I've got a fucking headache from playing this.
No, it's such a, like, bleak landscape as well.
Yeah,
that you're traveling across, which has its own charm. If you know what I mean, which is what I really dug about it. I thought it was, I really enjoyed that, but. Yeah, it's quite a depressing game, I think. Like, in general, like the themes
transporting a lot of corpses. That feels great. That reminds me, actually. So when you've, not without spoiling anything, when you have to take that corpse to the furnace, and you get to the furnace, deliver it, and then when you leave, there's like a big fucking BT attack. Yeah. Is that scripted?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's
because I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to get out of this? This is ridiculous. And then there's the black ink shit starts appearing everywhere.
And that goes really crazy as well. Like,
yes, that was nuts.
It was like, when that first happened like that, it was on a much bigger scale than I was expecting it was going to be.
Yeah, this is it. It's like, it's incredible, like, the spectacle of it.
Yeah.
But also in the back of my head, I'm like, this is just this guy's life. This is just how he lives. This happens to him sometimes, and it's like, I deliver stuff. This is how it goes. I don't know. Very, very strange.
One tip I'll say about that is, if you're in the middle of a delivery and you don't want to lose all your shit and suddenly, like, a massive whale pops up, you can basically, probably not like one at the beginning, and there are certain ones which are clearly scripted, but basically most of them you can just run to the edge of the oil when it comes and it stops the encounter. Okay. So if you've got, like, a really valuable cargo on you, sometimes I was like, I can't lose this now. I've already dropped it in a lake or down a river or down a hill.
Right.
I'm running to the edge of the goo, and you can kind of get far enough away for that encounter to stop.
So that was the other thing I enjoyed with that. It was ridiculous. Like, you just, like, dropping a package and then it's like rolling down a mountain and, like, chasing after it.
It's down a mountain stream. I'm, no, the last box.
I mean, Dave, you've kept quiet. Did you hate it?
I never played it. It's weird. I sort of never really wanted to, and it never really appealed to me. It just seemed like too much busy work, and this is a guy that played fucking Power Wash Sim for 50 hours. I I think I'm coming to the realization that I don't really like Kojima's games.
I was going to say, I mean, the writing, I mean, character names, come on.
They've always been shit, haven't they?
But I mean, you've got one person's called Dead Man, and then another one's called Heartman, and then there's another one called Die Hardman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
By the way, Die Hardman, the leader of your organisation that you work for, did any of you clock who voices him? It's fucking Ubercorn from Go Jetters.
Oh right, I don't know them well enough to pick that up on that.
I was kept hearing his voice, and I was like, why do I feel like I'm going to be given a funky fact any second now? What's going on?
Funky fact.
Yeah, but more importantly,
let me tell you about the place I met.
Sean, have you met Jeff Keighley in game yet?
No, I haven't met Jeff Keighley yet. I cannot wait.
Have you met any celebrities?
I've met any celebs, yeah, actually.
Yeah, there's a few celebs in there. I think, what was it? Metal Gear Solid 5 was held up as one of the greatest ever action games. And I just played it for about 4 or 5 hours and went, oh, fucking, this is annoying the piss out of me.
Hardly anyone finished that game.
No, I didn't finish it.
Including Kojima.
Really too long.
But yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, the pacing of that game was just off.
I just don't know what it is. I think I completed like a few of his games and I enjoyed my time with them, but I didn't rate them as highly as a lot of people. And I this one came along and I just thought, I looked at some gameplay footage and I thought, I like the imagery. I don't like how long everything seems to take. I'd love to see what he could do in like a 10-hour adventure. I'd like to see what he could do if he could edit him down to 10 hours. I think maybe something special.
I mean, he didn't write Death Stranding, did he? When the credits come up, it's someone else was the credited as the writer, but obviously he's the fucking visionary, isn't he?
Yeah. And that's not fair. That's not like it's like they're saying, hey, he might create something decent if he limited himself to 10 hours. These are massive games and they're loved by a lot of people. So I'm not saying that they're bad. They're just really, really not for me. And I think I've tried to force myself to see Kojima as something as a something as special as most people do, but I've never got there with him.
Yeah, so, this is the first game of his where it wasn't about kind of the cinematic kind of cutscenes or action. It really was for me is the kind of getting from A to B, the gameplay loop of picking up his parcel. How am I going to get there? What terrain am I going to encounter? How what enemies am I? It really was that. That was what I loved about it, and it was really relaxing. You kind of get I found like getting into kind of zen state of I'll do like 4 or 5 deliveries tonight. I'll play again tomorrow. The story was there happening in between moments, but didn't really care. Didn't really feel much for that. But
I was going to say,
there's some cool action bits as well, which are very action. But mostly it's the whole delivery aspect. I loved it.
Yeah,
right. No, see, I enjoyed.
Sorry, I was just going to say it was enjoyable listening to Kane and Rince covered it a couple of months back, and I was like, do you know what? Without having played the game, I'd be happy to just hear them talk about the story because I never heard anyone really. I was expecting Death Stranding would come out and people were like, holy shit, the story's amazing, and I never really heard that. And listening to them talk about it on Kane and Rince, they're like, the story's not really the point. It's not very good. It's a bit confused. But it's not the focus, as you say. The magic was in just the walking around delivering.
It's
stuff.
that, and it's also just how visually striking the game is. Like, honestly, there's nothing probably I'd say for many years that I've seen in a game that has it's the scene where you see the figures in the sky and everything.
Yes.
That really impacted me when I saw that. Yeah. There's something sort of like primal about that, like seeing that was 100%. Kind of terrifying and sort of just odd and
spooky.
Yeah, it was
especially that against the landscape was what kind of like was like took me back.
Spooky.
It was like the beautiful landscape and that in the sky and then it does some really good stuff. We definitely mentioned this at the time, but the stuff it does with songs and with audio at specific moments where you've crossed, the edge of the top of a mountain or over a ridge of a hill, and then like a particular track comes on. You're like, it really does nail that sense of
stole
scale.
That off of Red Dead Redemption 1, didn't they? I stole that.
There's a bit because I know there are other artists in the game, but so far I've only heard low raw songs.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah, it does come across a bit as like was this the pitch for the game?
Yeah,
Hideo Kojima's heard an album he really likes.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of churches. There's like Bring Me the Horizon. There's
Okay.
other stuff, of course. But
Jeff Keighley lent me this CD, and I think it's really good.
His mixtape for the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's my review of Death Stranding.
You are going to keep playing it,
based off 3 hours play. No, I will play more of it. I will.
Are you going to talk about Elden Ring again, James?
Not in massive detail, no.
I mean,
I've
put it fucking down then.
It's great. It's been I didn't know how long Splatoon 3 was going to go, so I thought I did want to talk about it a little bit because
long, baby.
I have been very much enjoying Elden Ring. I think it's great. Although at the moment I'm stuck because I'm stuck in I've forgotten the name of it. We were talking about it the other day, Dave.
The one that I did, the Red Sky place.
Yeah.
Oh, Caelid.
That's the one.
Caelid,
yeah, I'm stuck there because
Not a nice place.
Yeah,
I'm trying to beat
ditched it.
is it Star Scourge Radden?
Oh, Starscourge Radahn.
That's it,
He's
yeah.
a prick.
Yeah.
He's an absolute arsehole.
And the thing that's really annoying about it is the first time I tried it, I nearly beat him. Like I didn't write down right to the thing, and then but then since then I've not been able to get near that again, and it's
such a shame because the entrance to that fight and the build up to it is incredible, and then you fight him 30 times, and all of the impact of that is gone.
Yeah.
Right,
It's a shame
he's
because
great when you beat him. Like he's
that underground boss that we love, Sean.
Yes,
it's the opposite of that, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful when you see it for the first time, and then you fight it maybe once, really, because it's not hard, and it just feels so good. Like because that's a really memorable fight, even though it was piss easy, and it was just
it's so easy, and it's like, God, that was beautiful, and I will never see it again. I think there is a second one though, isn't there?
And also YouTube
sort of ruins it. I mean, yeah, obviously you could always YouTube it, but there's something cool about it being like a finite moment.
Yeah.
Whereas, like with Radahn, it's like, there's like this whole festival and there's like a speech around it and stuff, and it's like, oh man, this is so cool. What an event! And then it just becomes the usual churn of. Yeah.
I think I've come to the understanding with myself this week that I'm not going back to that game.
Really?
I think it's just one of those, isn't it? Where it's like, I mean, it's happened with every single fucking FromSoft game, like since Dark Souls for me. Dark Souls 3, I got to that amazing town, beat the boss in it, and then dropped it. Bloodborne, I got past Rom and then dropped it, and then the same thing happened with this. It's nuts. It just feels like I get to a point, I burn out. And then it feels like I can't go back to it. And it's not just those games. It's the same with Returnal as well. I got to Returnal, I got to a point and I was sort of dropped it. And there's a few games like that where, especially tougher games where I go,
I was going to say, because
I've had my fill.
Yeah, and the longer you're away from it, the more daunting it is.
Yeah,
going
for
back,
sure.
Right?
And that's why with this, I'm keep persisting playing with this at the moment because I know if I don't, it's going to be... I won't be able to go back again, and
you absolutely should.
But in saying that, as I said, I'm really enjoying it, and it is one of those games where I can play it for hours, and the time just goes, quickly. But you also just think, where do they go from here now with this? Because it's just ridiculous how big this game is, and like how much content there is in it. And
make a tiny game.
Hopefully,
it's all in one room. All the bosses are the size of like ants.
Is it, James, the allocation room now, is that the first one you've gone to after the academy?
No, I did. After the academy, I went underground.
He's
to fight
going deeper underground.
And what else did I do? I beat another boss as well, but I forgot which one it was.
You went up to the manor, didn't you?
Yeah, I did the manor as well. Yeah, the manor got done as well. That was fine. And I've done a couple since then. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
Smashing it.
Questions. Just a few questions this week because we've been talking about Splatoon for too long, baby.
If you want a question.
Oh my god, there's loads of them. Okay,
that's
let's
why I was
see
just
how far
looking
we
at
get.
it. What can I cut?
James
I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing.
This one's out.
That one.
Oh, hang on. Right, okay.
Just looked at the entire.
If you want to
doc.
send us a question, go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS. Luke Summerhays says, all right, geezers, I'm about to visit the UK for 2 weeks. Who's highlighting stuff in the doc?
James is.
Get off, James.
Of course he is. Can you please stop doing that?
I'm doing nothing.
I've just butchered half the questions. Get off. I'm about to visit the UK for 2 weeks. It'll be my first time in the country for almost 5 years. What changes should I be wary of? Also, I'll be spending a day in London, just enjoying the place as a tourist. What should I do that I may not know about?
Okay. Well, for starters, the usual half-hour screaming "God Save the Queen." That's stopped now.
Yeah,
and you've got to say King instead.
Into the UK. I was going to say, in terms of what to be wary of, just the the general creeping rise of fascism. Just usual stuff, really.
That's not exclusive to the UK, but
no, it's not.
It's prevalent over
but we are doing we're doing great work on that front.
I mean, not lots happened in the last 5 years.
Everything's more expensive, mate. You got to watch out for that. When it says like 180p a litre, that's not an error.
No, it's not a printing mistake.
No one has boilers anymore because fuck paying for them. So bring your own hot water.
Yeah.
Just bring loads of flasks of warm water with you.
Yeah, you'll be able to sell it at the airport for a fortune.
Yeah. I'll say about London, right? I'll say this all the time. A rather cheap thing to do, and one of the best ways to see London is a boat down the river. Get a ferry down the river. It's relatively cheap, and you get to see some of the best sights from the river. It's great. Fucking love that. So that's my recommendation.
Museums, obviously, are good. In general,
right.
It's a general statement.
The
Natural History Museum and shit. That's one of the few things where I'm like, yep, fair dues. London has definitely got the best ones, partially because they get more of the funding, but whatever.
Well, the money's
You're
made,
not leveled up, Sean.
I think it better.
We're in the process of being leveled up.
Yeah, we're just waiting for it, aren't we, Sean, up here?
Yeah. It's gonna be amazing.
It's just coming around the corner.
I did last weekend I went to the World Museum in Liverpool with Isaac, which was great. However, he wanted to go into the Doctor Who exhibition, which cost me £17, and then he found it really scary, so he basically had to run through with his eyes closed. Sounds good.
Harry freaked out the first time he saw the moving T-Rex in the Natural History Museum.
Really?
He had a meltdown, but he was quite young, so I don't know.
It's funny what gets him, isn't it? Because I was
Charlie would ride it. He'd climb on top of it and try and ride it like a fucking cowboy.
Because he said he wanted to go in. I was like, "Was Doctor Who? Like, I know there's aliens in it, but it's basically not kid friendly, but it'd be all right." Yeah. It was all the costumes and stuff. Probably amazing if you like Doctor Who, but Isaac was just like, "What the fuck is this? Get me out."
we went there with the kids. It was good. We had a good time.
Yeah.
You're a Doctor Who fan?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay,
I've got. It's all right.
Mixed feelings.
You've got a history of it, have you?
I've watched quite a lot of it, but I'm not. I don't think it's very good. It's
Why
all
are you
right.
watching it then?
It's not bad. There's better science fiction out there. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I know, but
it's one of those, isn't it? I don't. Yeah, I've not seen a lot of it, but it's a weird sort of anthology type show, isn't it? Where it's like, do you know what? There'll be a couple of episodes where it's like, fair dues, that's a really fucking cool sci-fi concept or whatever. But then there'll be some absolute toss.
Isn't it weird that one of our guests has been on it? Blake was on the last series.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
It was really weird.
I've always liked Doctor Who. It's very good.
It's great.
Don't worry, I don't think he listens. You're all right.
Alistair Moore says, do you guys think that being so immersed in all Marvel content has skewed your opinion of immortality?
What?
Obviously, you guys have your own opinions. I personally felt the game had a lasting impression for me, and the attention to detail to the time period and look and feel was great. I think there are some limitations with Sam Barlow games with repetition of clips, but it really helps with the immersion of investigation for me. What a strange question.
Yeah, no, there was Guardians of the Galaxy made me look at Immortality and go that it was shit. If anything, it's Chris Pratt's fault.
Yeah, I watched Avengers Endgame and was immediately rendered more stupid and couldn't appreciate art anymore. So
it was Incredible Hulk for me.
Just, yeah, but that's understandable. I mean,
each Marvel film lowers your IQ by 3. Did you know that?
Yeah, Alistair, I don't quite know how you've made the link between Marvel content and our disliking of Immortality.
No. I don't think any of us had a problem with the story of Immortality. It's just that we can't really talk about it without explaining it.
Okay, the story was a little bit trite.
I really liked the story and what it was, trying to say. It's just that we can't
Unfortunately, I went to a performing arts school, so I'd read that story a million times before. Or stories like it.
Fair enough.
And we definitely mentioned.
Well, there you go.
How
So
much we
the
loved.
problem is. Sorry, Matt. Go on.
We definitely mentioned how we loved the attention to detail and the time period. I know, I think we all did. So
definitely. Yeah.
Our problems were with the mechanics of it. I think more than anything else.
Black Panther. Actually, it was shit. Actually, time period stuff was shit.
Just remembered Black Panther in your brain.
I just remembered
shrunk.
the Black Panther.
Yeah.
All right.
The Spirit Specialist. Final question.
Oh, hello. Is it Clinton Baptiste?
I was going to say, he's not a medium. It's the it's the
You're right.
booze type of spirit. He says, my 5-year-old son has suddenly gotten into Pokemon in a big way, based purely on seeing Pikachu toys while shopping. We've started watching the TV shows together and like to get him into playing the games with his older sisters. They have a Wii U in the playroom and often play Mario Kart and 3D World, but their gameplay skills are not that great. So what would be a good Pokemon game for that particular console that wouldn't be too complicated in terms of systems, etc.? Pretty sure Arceus was Switch only, so it needs to be one of the older games, I guess. Appreciate you all, Ben Bowers, the Spirit Specialist.
I'd like to know for Switch as well, actually, the same question, because I'm going through this with the boys. It's really, really, really strange. They are massively into Pokemon cards. They have no interest in any form of Pokemon media apart from that. They don't want to play a game. They don't want to watch any of the cartoons. They don't give a shit. All they care about are the cards.
Just the card game.
Yeah. Charlie keeps coming up to me. Like you'll get an energy card in a pack, which is like in all of them. He'll come up to me and just hold it up to me and go, "I got a rare one!" And I'll just go, "Yeah, oh no, oh my god, that is a really rare one." Yeah. But yeah, they don't know how to play the game. It's an actual game, right? Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Is it like more complicated than Top Trumps? Is it like
yes,
right?
Yes,
okay.
Massively so. There's like
they haven't got
worldwide tournaments
and
stuff. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
okay.
It's all right. It's pretty good card game.
If there's worldwide tournaments of Top Trumps, Sean. So.
So I had to check, and I feel like I still must be reading this wrong, but there weren't really any Pokemon games for the Wii U.
Because I had a look as well, and it's
there was Pokken or Pokken, the Tekken one. There was Pokemon Rumble U, which apparently was an action RPG. That was just on the eShop, apparently.
Yeah.
That's it for the Wii U.
That's the problem, because there are... I mean, obviously the Wii U's got loads of Pokemon games from the eShop that are from like previous generations or whatever that you can download. But that store's been closed now, right?
Yes, that's all gone now.
Yeah, so sorry. Yeah.
So what was on... I mean, the Wii, what was on the Wii that maybe they could...
That's a good point. Was there a stadium for that? There might have been a Pokemon Stadium or whatever for it. I don't know.
There was Poke Park Wii Pikachu's Adventure.
There you go.
Poke Carnival games. Was it good when you chuck Pokeballs at snuff? Coconuts. Pokeballs at coconuts.
So basically, Ben, I think what I'm saying is hack the Wii U and get some virtual console games on it, because there's no way of buying them on there anymore.
Or get a Switch.
Or get a Switch.
Or get a Switch and get Let's Play Eevee.
What's the thing? So which one's the one for Switch that would the kids would play?
Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu.
That one.
Yeah. Well, they're just straightforward, easy to play, are they?
I believe so. Yeah.
Pretty much. It brings in a lot of Pokemon Go elements and stuff.
Okay, I might get one of them for them, because I know they'll get into it. Harry just plays anything, but
Arceus was excellent. I thought it was really good.
Well, which one though? Arceus or Go Pikachu?
Well, I think the more simple one would be the Let's Go one, but.
Right, okay. Let's go. I'll get that for one of them, I think. Yeah, it's so weird that how the cards are just like a completely different thing for them.
Have they not seen Detective Pikachu?
Oh, there's Detective Pikachu. That's 3DS, though.
No, I mean the movie.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Isn't that a bit creepy, though?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, right. I thought it was like all the Pokemon look wet and that.
Oh, no,
what do you mean?
Remember, one of them looks all wet and he's got skin.
It looks all wet and that makes it creepy.
It's Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime's the one that people get freaked out by, isn't it?
That's right.
I mean, he's freaky anyway.
Okay. Well, I hope that answered your question about what
sorry,
game
Ben.
you should get.
I mean, that's not really our fault. It's just that the Wii U is rubbish and no one put any games on it.
Yeah, so if anything, complain to Nintendo or the Pokemon company or whatever.
Do you remember those directs that they did towards the end of the life of that thing? It was
that was
Me
dry,
and you used to
wasn't
ring
it?
each other up afterwards, didn't we, James? And just like laugh for ages.
Because it was just like that. Do you remember there was that whole period where it's like they must be doing a new console, because they're just not doing any Wii U games anymore.
There was 2 years of that.
For like 2 years,
Yeah, there was 2 years of that.
Fucking nuts.
Okay, cool. Are we done?
Yes.
Matt, socials.
Yeah, so Wednesday night, if you're a Patreon subscriber, £8.50 and above, we're doing Le Tournoi Round 4, the final round of Le Tournoi, and we're playing PokerStars VR. You can watch it live.
Yes, we are.
With us by being an £8.50 and above Patreon supporter. That's Wednesday. On Thursday, it's Sea of Friends. Yes, Sean?
Yes. I don't know who's on
Last week, Lindy and Chris Bam were on, so worth going over to YouTube and finding that.
It was so good. It was a really nice stream last week.
Get Matt
all
on.
sorts of...
Don't do it, Matt.
Yeah, go on in. I'll play.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'd love that. Because have you played much Sea of Thieves, Matt?
Barely.
God, this should be great. Just trying to get Matt into Sea of Thieves. Yeah, that should be the theme. That you've got to try and get Matt into Sea of Thieves.
No, because then the pressure will be weird.
No,
you're not going to get me into it. I just want to enjoy it.
Try and find all the, anything that might have addictive properties to it.
Are
really
there any reward points in this? Like, is it like connected with that?
I mean, there is.
I'll get achievements. So, hello reward points, basically.
Yeah.
And on Friday, James is streaming Elden Ring. That's Friday night from 9. 9 is also the time for Le Tournoi and for Sea of Friends. Go to twitch.tv/TCGSco or follow us on the app. They're all on YouTube as well. Search us on there. And patreon.com/TCGS is our Patreon page. And the website is tcgs.co for everything else.
Thank you so much for living it. We will catch you next week. We'll be talking about other games, won't we?
We'll talk about all the stuff I've unveiled at the Direct today.
Oh my God.
On the day it comes out.
And maybe.
No, isn't it tomorrow? Is it Tuesday? Is it when?
It's Tuesday here for me now. So, yeah.
So it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, yeah.
Right, it is Tuesday. Right.
So next week's show, we'll talk about it.
Okay, cool.
And maybe next week, I'll be able to stream for more than 10 minutes without it fucking collapsing for no reason.
We don't talk about that, do we?
Sorry.
Don't mention it, Sean. Oh no, you're gonna get the feedback now.
I'm just gonna downgrade OBS. It was all fine until version 28 hit the other day last week, and it's
so I hear. Absolute ball ache. Right, goodbye everyone. We love you. Goodbye.
Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Hang on. Something else happened. No, something else has happened.
What's happened?
What's happened?
Are we breaking news?
Yeah, there is. This is break. Well, it won't be for the people that listen to this. There's going to be a state of play tomorrow as well on Tuesday, the 13th of September.
It's E3.
So tune in at 11 p.m. BST, and they're going to be showing PS5, PS4, and PSVR 2 stuff. Yeah.
Two things on the same day. What? It's like Christmas.
It is.
Wow.
Goodbye.
Shit.
Talk's over?
Maybe.
Bye.
It's the worst breaking news we've ever done on the show.
Come on.
But no one will give a shit by the time the podcast's out.
Shouldn't have said anything.
Correct.
Shouldn't have said anything.
That's pretty cool.
What? I'm still recorded, by the way. What's pretty cool? Matt, what's pretty cool?
Oh, we could get state of play. Might see more PSVR 2 stuff.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
2 on the same day. Hello. 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 Day.